Smaller store.
Oh, I don't.
We are changing up the formula. I'm gonna let you guys know when we hit record. Actually,
did news show.
Just let me know when you guys are ready. I'll do it. Since you guys are like getting fudge and everything, and
Such fudge.
Meat and biscuits.
What type? Oh no, my fudge is
Smarties,
leaking.
cookies.
I have 2 types
Wait,
of lemon meringue fudge.
Wait.
Millionaire shortbread fudge and also some butterscotch fudge.
Did you say Smarties cookies?
Mhm.
What the hell is that? What the hell is a Smarties cookie?
It's a.
They don't have Smarties in the US.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh,
not like
no,
no, Smarties. It's
no.
the chocolate.
Oh, I was gonna say 'cause Smarties are really shitty. The ones we have, they're like chalky little fruit discs. Like
They are awful.
like pills.
Yep.
I didn't know you guys have like
Pills,
cool chocolate Smarties. Chocolate Smarties.
It's
That's pretty
basically like a smaller, flatter M&M.
Mm-hmm. Almost choked on my water. I almost choked on my water.
Oh no, Abby said thanks.
Oh.
Did I spoil your description? I'm sorry.
Smarties
I don't know what I said
cookies.
thank you for.
So are you guys good to go? You guys good to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
I want to rock and roll all night and party every day.
Welcome to the Permadeath podcast, everybody.
You're telling us that you're going to give us warning about recording. You didn't actually do that. The episode has probably started with me going. Oh, so good.
No, it started when you guys are getting your food. Welcome to episode 16, the lost episode.
We're legal in the UK now.
Hey! We recorded this a while ago and then we scrapped it, but we wrote the whole thing down in script form, so we're just rehashing it back.
It's a bit weird that we were talking about this the first time round. But
Absolutely. We are glad to be back, though. What's it been, like 3 weeks?
26
a month?
days.
More than 3 weeks. Kinross,
Died again.
the statistician, the conversion man.
I mean, I'm looking at the last tweet when we asked for questions, which was 26 days ago.
We've done things a little differently this week. I actually asked for questions yesterday. We're loaded. One guy got our backs.
You Daniel Hong.
The new Daniel Hong.
Sorry, Daniel.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Oh, question
I'd like to
wars.
say, while I'm here,
I mean,
Daniel
yeah.
Hong, thank you for favoriting like every single one of my tweets. It makes me very happy.
It's good to have a support system.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Hong.
On Twitter.
I see how it is. I have nothing against you.
Kinross talks about you all the time.
favorite some of my tweets.
When the show's not rolling, shit's hidden. It's disgusting what goes on in this Skype call.
We were just talking about Smarties.
Yeah.
I don't know if that actually made it into the podcast,
I recorded that whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those like things where I lied.
You know what?
but
One day I'll send you some Smarties.
I would like to eat them.
One day Bill will be here and we can
Yeah, I'll make it over there.
Smarties.
We could do a live
Right.
episode. We could do a
We'll
live
go
episode.
over there for like, E3 when we're super popular.
Yeah. Hey,
We'll bring the Smarties. We'll do it.
Now,
mean-
what we'll do is we'll go over for E3, not as like attendees, but we'll watch the conferences from a hotel with crappy Wi-Fi, and stream from the hotel as well over the crappy Wi-Fi that
we-
is trying to stream.
we could just say we're there, because we're like, right across the street.
Here
So
we are at
We're
E3.
sat in the Hooters across from the convention center.
Like, we can just tweet a picture of the convention center, like, as if we're in there. Like, hey, we're going! And then, like, don't tell anyone that, like, we're really just in, like, a van across the street.
And then you can take pictures from in the Hooters, and you can just add to the fuel of games objectifying women.
Look at this game!
It's called Hooter.
It's a new...
It's a Twitter simulator, I
It's a-
think.
It's the new rare game, Hooter.
Hooter-kazooie.
But yeah, a lot has happened since the last time. We got an awesome Nintendo Direct the other day. Bloodborne
Start talking about that.
came out. Yeah, we'll start with the Nintendo Direct.
We had the
'cause
Nintendo mobile thing as well.
There's lots to unpack. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, and the NX, yeah.
Yep.
Lots to
Steam
unpack.
VR, and
So yeah, we could let's jump into Nintendo Direct that happened
Right,
on.
Can we just
when
talk
that happened?
about
Tuesday,
the,
Wednesday.
the first? It was April Fool's Day. I had no idea what day that was.
Yeah.
The 1st of
That was
April.
Wednesday.
But can we talk about the NX for a second and how everyone has said, "Oh my God, they've delayed the Wii U Zelda, so that means it's not coming out on the Wii U. I bought this console for nothing." Don't like. I can't get over how many people think that the Wii U Zelda is now going to the NX, considering they have just said, "We're working on a new console. We might announce it next year. We don't know."
Yeah, it's not coming out next year. That's just
Well, at the very earliest, it would come out winter season.
because they would obviously have to do
But
something.
that
I
would be
mean,
an insane turnaround.
I would
announcing it at
wonder-
E3,
I was
and
gonna
then being
say,
like, coming this year. It's like, oh, thanks.
I wonder if that means that they would do an E3 conference again for the first time in how many years?
I mean, rather than a direct.
Yeah, like look at this shit, motherfucker, and they come on out and like.
Kind of don't want them to, because Nintendo always do something that's really cringeworthy in their conferences. So
Yeah.
I guess they get to like script it.
I
when it's a
mean,
direct.
if the NX is something that's like, like suck our ass, fuckers, and like it's so badass, like blows everything out of the water technologically. It's like got like interconnectivity between their handheld, which is 10 times more powerful than the Vita, and it's like fuck you, and they come out and Miyamoto's on a motorcycle. And he jumps off, and they secured the Bloodborne 2 exclusivity. And he's like rolling around on the ground like he's dodging an enemy attacks. And he gets up and he's speaking perfect English. Fuck you! Then I would want them to do one.
It'll actually be a Steam box that can also play Nintendo games. So it has the best video game library and the sales.
So then,
And so Zelda. You have no need to buy a Xbox or a PS4 or PS5. Other than for their 6 exclusives that they will ever get.
So then Miyamoto just comes busting out from behind on a motorcycle, does a dodge roll with the H1Z1 logo behind him, and he goes, "Fuck you!" That's what would happen instead then.
Yeah.
Cool. The NX.
That's the end of that.
No, I just want to know more about it. I'm not even worried about like my console becoming obsolete or like them not releasing that, because that's not. People are jumping to weird conclusions with that one. I just really want to see it because I love new Nintendo hardware, regardless of what it is. I'm always interested in seeing what they have to show.
I think
I kind of think it's not the best thing they could have done by saying, "Oh, we're working on a new console."
Yeah,
People are gonna be like, "Well, the Wii U's not got that many games. I'm assuming the next one's going to be backwards compatible. Maybe I'll just wait." And
Yeah, and then
and it'll be backwards compatible.
And then, because I'm announcing that, like, there are so many over the last 2 weeks, before that, when they announced that they were working on it, so many headlines and so many YouTube clickbait titles. With the announcement of the NX, is that the final nail in the Wii U's coffin? Well,
I mean, no.
No.
I mean, like, you can confirm right now that Sony's more than likely working on the specifications for the PlayStation 5, but does that mean that that's dead?
If they're not, then they're idiots.
Yeah, so I mean, like they're always working on the next thing. It's just Nintendo made it public. Maybe they shouldn't have, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I
don't know.
understand why they did. Because they don't want people to think that they're gonna just go into the mobile market.
yeah.
And ditch home consoles and whatever. I get that. I didn't need that reaffirmation though. Like,
I mean, next Christmas, assuming that it comes out next Christmas,
I don't think it'll be next Christmas.
I don't think it
it'll be
will.
Christmas 2017.
but if it does, then the Wii U will have been around for 4 years. That's on the edge of acceptable console life, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
The 360 was what, 6 years, I think.
It's getting on to like year 10 of the Xbox 360 right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I mean, so it was what, 7 or 8 years before the Xbox One came out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They tend to be about 7 or 8 years, apart from if Nintendo just seem to like.
Do it whenever the hell they want.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, this what, GameCube
I think,
didn't do great, but it had a long life cycle. But the Wii just made them all the money.
I mean,
That's
I think the thing with Nintendo, if they went with a shorter cycle, I think the reason people don't want cycles to be too short is because they don't be like spending another $500 or whatever. because like, oh, I just bought this. I don't want to. But like Nintendo's consoles are always on the cheaper end. Anyway, like right now you can still get those refurbished Wii U units, like but are basically brand new for $200. They're back in stock, so it's like I don't mind if they put out another. I mean, like even if they did. I mean, it's probably not worth buying for the first year anyway. So add another year on to the Wii U's life cycle, because I'm sure they still have some more games that they are finishing up or would be finishing up around that time anyway. So I don't know.
Oh man, there's actually an Amazon sale in America on Wii U Deluxe. It's down from $450 to $300, and it comes with Super Mario 3D World.
Beautiful.
And Nintendo Land. My God.
You can get Nintendo Land for like £6 now.
Compared to a PS4. Sorry, I'm just curious now. PS4 is $400, so it's $100 cheaper.
Yeah, and if you go the refurbished route, I mean, you could obtain a Wii U for a good penny.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't actually see what the standard without anything with it.
So if they announced that they were releasing the NX at like the end of next year, would you feel cheated?
No.
Would you reckon you've got enough use out of your?
I mean, Mario Kart 8 is great. Splatoon will be great. Star Fox will probably be good. Zelda U, Smash Bros, Wind Waker, Bayonetta, Pikmin.
Yeah. Oh, I really want to play Pikmin 3. I played the demo while I was in Manchester. It was so good.
I can re-download it and bring it along. Yeah, I mean, it's not been the most full console, but then when I think of what I remember of playing on the Wii, it's pretty much Zelda and Mario stuff with Okami for a little while and like the odd little thing here and there. I think I've probably played more games on my Wii U than I did on my Wii.
Yeah, I feel kind of similar. Although I did have No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 on the Wii, and those are two of my favorite games. So I played those for a amount. But they're pretty much both of them are on the PS3. Like,
yeah,
1.5, I guess, if we're being specific. But I really like my Wii U.
Yeah, and we'll have another 18 to 24 months.
You know what? They give me Zelda, they give me Star Fox, they give me Splatoon, new Yoshi game.
Oh, and the Yoshi game, and Kirby.
Some new downloadable titles, maybe.
Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Is that? I thought that was 3DS.
No, man, that's the Wii U.
Oh.
Is it?
Hell yeah, it is.
Then.
Balls.
That would explain how they had such pretty graphics.
I was like, man, the new 3DS is something special.
Yeah,
level graphics.
If that was always gonna be Wii U. If it wasn't gonna be, because if it wasn't gonna be, it was more than likely looking at it. If you didn't know, you would probably think it would be a new 3DS exclusive. But if it would have been, I probably would have bought it that time when I was gonna pull the trigger on it. But yeah, it's gonna be Wii U, which is awesome, because the more JRPGs make it onto the Wii U, the better. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles X and that. I mean. It's pretty sweet.
God, that game I am excited for right now. I'm very excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Any particular reason?
Because I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles and now I know that it's good.
That was a half segue. It wasn't particularly good because we've still got Nintendo.
Yeah, we've still got. Xenoblade came out in the UK. We'll talk about it later, okay?
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we talk about what we've been playing. Yeah. So Nintendo Direct that happened. They announced that they're bringing Fatal Frame to the Wii U.
See, I'm not a
Project
big
Zero.
Gamer, so...
Nah, me neither.
Oh,
but
was that the thing with like the flashing camera thing?
Yeah.
Because
I
was
went
why
away
that
from
direct
my
was.
screen.
That was why the direct was rated 18+.
I played the first Fatal Frame on the PS2, and I remember it being neat, but I remember myself being very little. So it was almost situations where I would buy a game and I would just walk around and never beat it. So it was scary. But yeah, so that's coming to Wii U. I wasn't watching the Direct, and I was at my friend's house, and I was just kind of following the Twitter feed and seeing everybody react to shit and what kind of links are being posted, the trailers and whatnot.
And you were like, Ebby, shut up.
And people were like, "Whoa, Project Zero!" I'm like, "What the fuck is that? Just say what it is. What the fuck's Project Zero? I can't believe it!" I'm like, "What is it? What the fuck is Project Zero? I don't even know what that is." And then like I had to look it up like 3 hours later because I was preoccupied. I'm like, "Oh, it's Fatal Frame. Just fucking say that. Just fucking say Fatal Frame."
It's known as Project Zero in Europe. Okay, so it's not called Fatal Frame here.
They said Fatal Frame.
Oh, did they? I wasn't.
Yeah,
looking.
they actually said.
I muted it and I went away.
So I was like, oh, I've heard about Fatal Frame.
Like
Cool.
that's like when that's like if like they announced the name of the Wii and the release date of the Wii, and like everyone's going, yeah, finally the revolution's coming out. Well, it has a name, it has a fucking name now. Like, just say it.
There's a game on the Wii called Project Zero 2.
That is Fatal Frame.
But Project Zero is coming out on the Wii U. So is that a remake of the first one, or is it like a
maybe
Tomb Raider type
I
situation?
think maybe they were just saying the name of the franchise in general. Like, hey, finally Project Zero, the Project Zero game is finally making its way over. When in reality, it's probably like, I think it's like Fatal Frame 5 or some shit. I was reading on NeoGAF or something that it's the 5th one. I don't think you have to play them chronologically, but
I'm not
we'll
gonna
see.
touch them at all.
No, I'll probably check it out. But yeah, so they did that. What else did they do? You guys know more than me. I know what they announced from a general bullet point list, but I didn't watch the whole thing in depth.
Splatoon amiibos,
Yep.
Mewtwo and Lucas for Smash Bros. The Smash Bros. Poll thing.
They announced that Mewtwo will be purchasable like a week or two after it's released to the club.
Cool.
The people who registered both.
Because I missed that. I missed out on that.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
I think it was, what was he? Was it £6 or £2?
It wasn't very much. Like, I think it was like a bit more if you no. It depends on which version you want to buy it for, but you can buy them both for both the Wii U and the 3DS for a discounted rate, was my understanding of it.
Okay, so it can be purchased for one of the two games. So either one for $4, £3.50, €4, or 400 yen, or you can buy it as a bundle for both games for $5, or about £4.50.
Cool.
So that's not too bad. I think Lucas is the same. Yeah, available for purchase on the 28th.
Neat.
Or
Cool.
29th. One of those two.
They should
We'll
just
see.
wait and release them in a pack.
Yeah, I'd be much more
for
inclined to buy,
for
like,
money.
character packs
I mean, like, for the
than-
people who registered, yeah, give it to them. But like, I wouldn't mind if those two were bundled in a pack. But no, I mean, not that it
I don't
matters.
know who wants Lucas.
That's dude. When they announced that,
YouTube,
I was sitting there.
you've bundled Lucas in there.
I was sitting there. I was sitting there with my friend, and I didn't know they announced Lucas or whatever, and I didn't even know who he was. When my friend's on his phone, he goes, "Who the fuck cares about Lucas?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck's Lucas?" And then he's like, "For Smash Bros." I'm like, "Wait, who's Lucas?" Like, you don't answer my question. Who the fuck's? I don't know. He's from Earthbound. All right, whatever. Blonde Ness. So
Apparently, the people who have actually played the Mother games care.
about
Who's
Lucas.
played the Mother games?
Yeah.
In the US and
Is that
Europe.
Earthbound?
Yeah, that's part of the
yeah.
series.
Earthbound's
I
on
have.
Virtual Console.
Yeah, I have it.
No,
I
I'm
just haven't played it
I'm
yet.
not talking about Earthbound. I'm talking about Mother 3 specifically.
Uh-huh.
Because everyone has been asking for that game for years and years and years, and Nintendo have been like, "Look at our Japanese exclusive," and everyone cries every time.
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum,
It's
bum,
sad.
bum. What is Earthbound? Mother 2?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that series. I refuse to get into it if I
Yeah.
can't play one of the games legally.
Yeah,
So.
that's Earthbound's Mother 2. Why the fuck did they call it Mother?
Known as Mother 2 in Japan, is a 1994 Japanese role-playing game co-developed by Ape and HAL.
Huh. Well, good for the Earthbound series. So what else they give us? They gave us Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem, which a lot of people were very surprised it looked like Persona. I've read all kinds of outrage. Now, I am not like the biggest. I like Shin Megami Tensei. I've played a little bit of 4 for the 3DS. I've played about 20-something hours of Persona 4 in the Vita. I don't have a lot of Shin Megami Tensei experience. I know that the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games are a little bit darker in tone. Like, they're usually about a post-apocalyptic Tokyo and demons and whatever. And Persona games are a little more bubbly. It's like watching a school days anime, whatever. But like, people are like really angry.
Wait. I was reading the Nintendo Direct stuff. Did you just say that there's a game based on School Days?
No. Well, School Days is a visual novel, right? So
Yeah, it's
technically,
based on a visual novel. So you
There's a
could play
visual
School
novel?
Days. Yeah, you could play
Oh.
School Days.
That's what I'm playing.
We're getting Kinross into all the porn games.
Oh, yeah,
I forgot
with
the
murder.
porn. God damn it.
Okay, man.
That's like my
Let
favorite
your
anime.
let your spirit go, man. But yeah, so a lot of people are a little angry that it's the bubbly version of the Shin Megami Tensei series. Now the thing is like there's no way we have barely seen any gameplay. One, the little bit we've seen. I mean, like, yeah, okay, if you weren't told it was Shin Megami Tensei Cross Persona, maybe you, or not Cross Persona. Oh, Bill, look at Bill's making the joke. That was intentional. No, it wasn't. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. Then maybe you wouldn't have known what it is because like there's not much in there that's maybe recognizable to fans of those two franchises. I mean, like there's some some Fire Emblem. God damn it! There's some Fire Emblem looking classes in the combat sections of the trailer where like they turn into like I don't even remember the fucking Fire Emblem classes, the Pegasus Knight, whatever the hell it's called, the guy on a horse, whatever, stuff like that, and it's the character designer from Awakening, so that too is recognizable if you've played a lot of Awakening and watched its beautiful CGI cutscenes. But other than that, a lot of people were like, "Well, this isn't even the fucking shit. I didn't even order this. I didn't order this." But it's like, I mean...
Can you imagine waiting 2 years for more news on a game just to be really disappointed and angry about it?
It's gotta suck. I mean, they were expecting... Now, I see a lot of people calling it, like, waifu anime bullshit, and it's funny because, like, yeah, like, you could say Persona is that because it takes a social link factor to great heights. And
Persona, do you mean Persona or do you mean Shin Megami Tensei?
I mean Persona, even though it is a Shin Megami Tensei game.
God damn it.
And it's, they say that, but, like, it's funny because, like, the Persona, I mean, like, Shin Megami Tensei, fuck! Shin Megami, motherfucker! If it was Shin Megami Tensei 4, all of the character designs look like they could walk into Persona and fit in. So, like, it's maybe not tonally what people were expecting from Shin Megami Tensei, but like, there's even a shot at the end of the trailer where it shows one of the protagonists, I presume one of the protagonists, standing in front of a giant destroyed post-apocalyptic Tokyo. So I feel like maybe it wasn't the best trailer to cut together, especially with the J-pop and like all that stuff. Maybe they could have done it a little bit different, or maybe had like two versions of the trailer, show like the Shin Megami Tensei version of it and the Fire Emblem version of it. I don't know, like two different tones. Like, because no one even knows what the fuck is going on in there. Like, why are those two universes crossed over? There's really no explanation. It's just a lady singing while a lady flies on a motorcycle. But I'm actually really excited for it.
I think they announced Don't Starve as well.
Yeah.
Don't Starve Together. And the American one, they didn't mention it in Europe. So
it's not coming. It's not coming there.
There was Splatoon, Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Maker. Did that
Mario Maker. September is for Mario Maker.
Yeah.
I am super stoked for Mario Maker.
You know, if it's cheap, I'll be excited.
I reckon it'll be. I reckon it'll be the same price as like what the fuck's that game called with Toad? Treasure Tracker. Captain Toad.
Treasure Toad.
Treasure Toad Captain Tracker. Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei Cross Toad.
There was Affordable Space Adventures, which looked
Oh,
quite
my
cool,
headphones came out. Keep talking.
but I don't know much about it other than the little bit that they showed. It was sort of like a spaceship management multiplayer thing.
What game is that?
Affordable Space Adventures.
Oh, okay.
There was the Attack on Titan game where you get 2 free episodes of the anime.
Oh yeah, great.
I was like, why is...
Great.
I got into this frame of mind where I was like, is anime more mainstream than everybody who likes anime thinks it is?
It's just Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Well, I think in general, like, yeah, I think it is. Like, I mean, on a tangent, I feel like some people think anime is like really niche, but like, I think it's pretty mainstream. I mean,
Pokemon was pretty damn mainstream.
Like, maybe not to the same extent as like, video games, because like there are certain video game franchises that just click with everybody. But I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like anime is at a point.
I don't exactly go, oh, so you've seen an anime, what have you seen? And they go, oh, Attack on Titan. And I'm like, oh, of course you've seen that. Like...
The thing is, I'm pretty sure that the first 2 episodes of Attack on Titan are the only good ones, so people...
They give them...
That game looks so bad, though.
It looks like any tie-in kind of game.
I don't think it looks great. But one game that I did see in the direct that I thought looked really, really good was Box Boy.
Yeah, I almost bought that yesterday, and then I thought, I'm awful at puzzles.
Yeah, I'm very tempted to buy it, but at the same time, I know I'm not going to get very far in it, because I'm really bad at puzzle games.
I'll probably still pick it up. It looked interesting enough. Like, I have entered a point where I think, that whilst I might not necessarily be good at things because the gaming market is so crowded, I feel like I should support stuff that at least looks interesting so that they can make more interesting things that might be more up my alley.
Mm.
Like I did that for what's it called? Sorry, I'm gonna have to load up my Steam. But they also announced the Mario Kart 8 DLC.
Yes.
That
And,
looks so hot.
I'm just disappointed that the coins are not bells.
I was talking
Yeah.
to Alan about the Mario Kart DLC.
Mhm.
And he doesn't play Mario Kart, so he doesn't get it. And he thought it was hilarious that they announced 200cc as like legitimately new content. And I was like, dude, you don't even know how game changing that is. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
It looks insanely fast. Like, I'm so pumped for
It
that.
looks like it breaks a lot of maps.
That's why it's gonna be so fun. Like, I don't think it's even gonna be possible to effectively fire hop going around a corner that fast and keeping your drift going. You're just gonna.
Maybe that's why they put in
We
200cc.
can't
They
That's-
can't fix fire hopping.
That's what I was talking to my friend about. I'm like, there's no way. We were watching some footage. I'm like, there's no fucking way anyone's gonna be able to fire hop in. But then again, I'll probably be proven wrong.
If that is their measure to deal with fire hopping and it doesn't work, I'm just worried that we're going to live in a world where 500cc is a thing.
Well, we didn't get it right that time.
Keep speeding it up until people can't fire hop anymore, rather than patching out fire hopping.
Mario Kart cross Fast and the Furious, cross Persona.
Yep.
Um,
But yeah, clearly, people who don't play Mario Kart don't understand how much of a big deal 200cc is, but it's a very big deal. So
It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna say it doesn't look that much faster to me, but I imagine that when I'm playing it and I'm staring at a wall 90% more.
we have to play it for the first time together.
Okay.
We have to do it.
Absolutely.
It has to happen.
Fair enough. It was Pokemon Rumble World. I've bought 2 Pokemon Rumble games.
I
It's
see.
probably
I was sort
one
of
more than I-
done. I was done with Pokemon Rumble after the Wii one, like after the WiiWare game. I was just completely done with it. So I was like, okay, this was fun, but I don't want to play it again.
I picked
I'll
it up
play it more.
for the Wii U, I think, because I wanted the little precursor amiibo things, and I only got
Mhm.
2. But I wasn't a huge fan of that one, and I got the original one, whichever that was. Was that DS or Wii?
The original one was on the Wii.
Yeah, so I got that one, and I didn't feel like it was enough of an improvement over it. I think I preferred the Wii one, to be fair.
Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because the game, like, the new Pokemon Rumble is free. It's just got microtransactions in it, so maybe I'll give it a go if I get bored.
Yeah,
But
although
I have a new 100-hour RPG to play, so I'm probably not going to be in a rush to be playing Pokemon Rumble anytime soon.
Can I
there
do-
was an Animal Crossing game.
Can I just say
Yeah.
before we talk about that thing, since it's Animal Crossing related, can I just say how great that new track looks from Mario Kart?
Oh, did you see him recording the music? They were like, we recorded the music live.
Ow.
They did that for most of Mario Kart.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
assume
But-
so, but oh my god, it sounds
The
so
music sounds amazing. The theme song from the first Animal Crossing, in their awesome Mario Kart 8 jazz style, just oh motherfucker, oh, I want it.
I feel like I might ditch Link for a little bit as my main character in Mario Kart just to play as Villager.
Oh,
Like-
absolutely. I'll play as Isabelle 24/7. That's just.
Dry boats. People like
Also, in that video of the Animal Crossing track, they show the seasons change. Like, does that happen? Do you think, like,
Yeah.
throughout
Yes.
the race, or like is
Yeah,
No.
it does.
I don't think it's throughout the race. I
It's
think
not throughout the race, it's every time you start up the race again.
Yeah, like
Oh,
except,
it's like different every time.
changes.
Oh, that's awesome. Give me Animal Crossing for the Wii U. That's not a game about fixing houses. What's that new one about?
Well, that's
It's
the-
good.
that's the
It's a good
3D.
transition. Yeah, it's good. Well, yeah.
thing,
Okay.
but, it's
Transition.
like a home designer game.
Transition into that game.
You know,
What's that
like
game
the
about?
fun part of designing rooms in Animal Crossing
Yeah, a whole game about it.
is that. Like,
Do you need those cards to play it?
Yes.
see,
I
this
th-
is going to be a problem if
I-
they don't print as many as.
Well, cards are a lot easier to produce quickly.
Remember
I
when they
think.
said that they were going to make more of the GameCube adapters?
Yeah, we're still waiting on that.
It's been like 6 months nearly.
So it's another product that requires supply from Nintendo to work.
But it is just cards. Like, you can print off thousands of the bloody things.
It depends if they do that, though. Like, I don't think Nintendo understand how much people want this shit.
I think they probably are aware of it now, which is why they're not making Animal Crossing Amiibo figurines. They're making cards.
Well, can't they just make more of them, or say, wave 1 of wave 4 will go out on this date, and then we'll slowly be restocking retailers, just in smaller quantities.
Maybe.
Like they've said in America that they are re-releasing Moth in May.
Do they have
Just Moth.
Do they have like 3 guys in that factory making all these amiibos themselves or something?
So.
I mean, is it? I'm wondering if it's a case of because they wanted to have all the Smash guys relatively quickly, that just the way that the factory was working, they couldn't pump out that many varieties that quickly. If that makes sense, like they've just gone too far too fast.
Too fast, too furious.
Some of them. But speaking of amiibos, Yoshi's Woolly World
My God.
has the best amiibos I have ever seen.
That
I am a huge Yoshi fan.
is an adorable
Have been
amiibo.
since I was like 5 years old. So nearly 20 years I've been a Yoshi fan, and they are releasing these goddamn
Soft
Yarn
toys.
Yoshi amiibo things that are soft toys, and they're going to be impossible to get. And not only that, but they are releasing them in 3 colors, all of which are my favorite colors of Yoshi. It's really unfortunate.
it's like they did this just to fuck with you.
They were like, oh, someone ordered a bunch of plushies. Because I actually legitimately have like a green Yoshi, a pink Yoshi, and a blue Yoshi plushie.
That 10 times fast.
No. I refuse. But they know. I wasn't even going to buy that game immediately, but now I am, just on the off chance that I managed to get one of the Yarn Yoshi amiibos. Oh, God.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Although, that said, once I've got a hold of one, I know enough people who know crochet that I could probably just get them to make it for me, and then just buy Yoshi amiibos and rip it apart and stick the NFC chip in.
Yeah, I suppose. But
Unless, I mean, the only thing would be if, like, when you tapped it in, it showed up as a Yarn Yoshi. You wouldn't get that with my way because it would just be...
it'd just be Yoshi.
Yeah.
Just put Captain Falcon in there.
Just
And
put
just,
all
and
of
just
them in
sell it on eBay then, the rarest amiibo.
I just know for a fact what's going to happen with the Yarn Yoshi things is because the game is coming out June in this country and it's not coming out until fall everywhere else, everyone is going to want to import those fucking amiibos from everywhere all over the world. So our small supply has to go everywhere. And then I'm going to have to end up paying a premium for them because eBayers like to buy things just to sell them, I guess. So I'm going to end up paying a butt ton of money for those Yoshi amiibos, and I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay it because Nintendo probably aren't going to supply me, so you could have had my money. No.
Yoshi! How do they say his name? Yoshi! Yoshi!
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yoshi! Yeah, there it is. That's what I was trying to do. Yoshi!
God, I saw in the Nintendo Direct in America, they were like, there's 2 modes. There's classic mode and mellow mode.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that Yoshi makes the most adorable sounds in mellow mode, and it sounds so adorable. Oh my God.
Yoshi!
That game better be good. I'm gonna be so sad if it's not good because Yoshi's had a bad time lately.
He's ready. He's ready to come back.
He's always had a bad time.
Yoshi's Island was a masterpiece.
Yoshi was the
I
reason
liked
that
Yoshi's-
I gave up on Mario Galaxy 2. I hated him so much in that game.
I liked Yoshi's story for the N64, but no one else.
I love
seemed
that
to.
game. I love that goddamn game.
I don't know why. I
love
feel like if I played it now, I probably wouldn't like it nearly as much.
I love the theme song. That's probably why I like it. I love that damn game. But yeah. So they also did.
And, no Star Fox.
Oh yeah, we got a question. Well, it wasn't more of a question. Well, a goofy question from Mr. Raphael. So I said his name wrong. Raphael Clement. He asked you how salty you were about not having any Star Fox in the direct.
Very fucking unhappy, man.
It just means that they've got more to talk about at E3.
I just wanted to know, like, I didn't want to see a lot of the game. I just wanted like a title and maybe a little bit of gameplay. I want to know the characters that are going to be in it.
I imagine that Fox will be in it.
Well, yeah, but like Peppy in the last game retired. Crystal went off to be a bounty hunter by herself. Falco's fucking God knows where.
I suppose that would be the interesting thing to see whether they class Adventures as canon, considering everyone hates it.
Adventures is canon.
Oh, is it?
It's Command that had like 7 different endings. So we have not known since that game came out if any of them are canon.
They didn't show it. You know why? Because it's gonna come to the NX.
Done.
They also talked about Fire Emblem, which we had a question from Raphael about that, and I figured I'll incorporate that question into the discussion of this real quick. He asked, "What do you think about intelligent systems splitting up the game for different story paths? So there's going to be 2 versions of Fire Emblem to buy, and if you have one of them,
I thought it was just one version.
Yeah, I thought it was one version but 2 storylines. But it does look like they're doing a Pokemon type thing where it's 2 different games.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Are they going to be a bit cheaper? Like
I don't know, but I mean that does make some element of sense because if they're 2 distinctly different experiences in a massively long JRPG, then I don't have much of an issue of paying for it twice if I choose to. I mean, I might just choose the white one because it sounds like that's the easier one, and the black one is for the people who really know what they're doing and want the anime boobies. And, yeah, I think that it's a good idea because otherwise, if it was trying to fit 2 versions of it onto one cart, then you'd have to cut corners somewhere.
People,
Xenoblade Chronicles on there,
and it looks a little bit weird.
Right, we'll
they're not sure if the 2 versions are for Japan only or for the United States because in the direct they showed the 2 logos in the Japanese one, but in the American one it just said Fire Emblem.
Yeah, but I think that's because the Japanese have a title and we've just got the tentative Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem.
What a stupid fucking what the fuck is that?
I mean, it makes sense if it's 2 different games because then you go if nor. If
yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I thought you were just saying it was a good title because if it was 2 different games, I thought you were just stopping there because if was the first word in that sentence. I was gonna crack up.
If it's such a like I'm doing this thing now where I'm analyzing words too much. If is a weird word.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't. I'm just gonna say people don't get upset overly about the fact that there's 2 versions of a Pokemon game.
Yeah, I think the difference is like those 2 Pokemon games are for the most part largely the same, story wise, like and like the environment. I mean, like, but again, like,
well, then that's even more reason to be happy that they're 2 different because they're completely different stories.
Yeah. If they are both full length games where each of them have now the thing is will they be entirely different or just kind of the same story told in a different location where it's very similar, or
it doesn't sound like it is, but you know.
If they're 2 different games, I'd be happy to buy both of them.
Yeah. As far as I know, if you have one, you get the other one at a discount for DLC or something like that.
Oh, brilliant. That's all I need. That's all I need to know.
I believe.
Oh, you mean like if you bought it digital?
I'm not sure. Someone just said like, oh, yeah, you can get it as a discount. I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, we'll see in 2016.
Yeah.
I feel like they are telling us, oh, the game's coming soon. But they aren't letting on how finished the game is because it comes out in June in Japan. Like, I know we've got to do all the dubbing work and the translating and stuff. I get that.
Yeah.
But they could be like, game's coming out in Japan, so you could import it from Japan if you really, really want to. But it's looking good. It's looking great. It's going to be real popular. And this is how the format's going to work because I feel like we're just getting confused with the format.
Yeah.
But I have Awakening to play before new Fire Emblem, so I should get on that. Because literally while I was tweeting about the direct, about 7 people were like, you should play Fire Emblem. So I will play Fire Emblem at that point, I guess.
That's Fire Emblem Awakening jingle.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know.
I played the one for the Game Boy Advance. It's alright.
I've never played any of them. Well, I played Awakening. That's not true. That's just sound.
I've never played any of them except for this one right here that I finished 5 times.
What else did they announce? Anything else like?
Really got into that game.
Yeah, like doing the waifus and all that stuff. Same with he played a lot of Pokemon Y and to try to get like shinies and stuff. He was obsessed.
There was that
Mr. Yokorama.
Yeah, come back, man.
Oh, Puzzle and Dragons Z.
Oh yeah, I might get that if it's cheap.
Yeah, I might pick it up. I don't know. I'll probably I won't pick it up at launch. I'll pick it up a
It
month
looks
or
like
so later.
JRPG Bejeweled. That's all I can
That
think.
is. I think it's a cross between Pokemon and Bejeweled.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, it's
That sounds like
probably
fun.
yeah.
That sounds like fun to me.
Yeah.
Have you
I don't know
got-
how the Mario bit will work?
Have you guys played Puzzles and Dragons before?
No,
It's
we've
not
nev-
actually available in the UK. I have.
Ah.
We've
I-
never had a puzzle and dragons game here. Yeah.
I will not say how I played it for about 20 minutes, but I have played about 20 minutes of it, and the version I played was a little buggy, and I didn't know what I was doing, and it's because I don't speak Russian.
It it could be a addictive time. I haven't played too much of it, admittedly, but I've played maybe about a few hours of it, and it's interesting.
Was that made by Dina?
Their logo is purple. I don't know who it is. Puzzle and Dragons. It is a company called what the fuck? Tell me. Gung Ho.
Oh yeah. Gung Ho.
I think their logos purple.
Oh.
I think their logo's purple. But yeah, I was interested in the Nintendo crossover with that. Wait, does that come bundled with both games?
Yes.
I'm excited for
You
that
get
then.
it for $30. Like I don't know how much.
I'm excited for that.
You
A
have to
Mario and a Pokemon one? Is that what that is?
No.
No, it's Puzzle and Dragons Z and
Yeah.
Mario Brothers.
Oh,
Puzzle and
okay.
Dragons,
The character
so-
designs just look like Pokemon trainers. All right.
We do not have a date apparently.
I'll be surprised if we get it this year. I'll be surprised.
The
'Cause
demo.
It's one of those it's one of those super fucking niche puzzle Japanese games that no one can sell here for some reason.
The demo is April 30th.
Well, maybe for you.
Aha!
I mean, we still
Oh.
have Kirby and the Power Paintbrush yet.
We should also talk about the new Virtual Console thing because they're releasing N64 and Nintendo DS games on the Wii U now.
I thought that they were already Nintendo DS games because I've got Brain Training and I've had it for months.
Oh,
So I
Oh,
was a
I
bit
guess I
surprised
didn't
by that.
pay
Everyone was like,
attention
"Oh
to
my god, DS games!" I was like, "But Kawashima's
To be
Brain
fair,
Training."
I don't think our DS games that we have are that great. We got a Mario Kart game, which no one's going to play because
And,
got Mario Kart 8.
WarioWare touched.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But the one that I was excited about was Donkey Kong 64.
Hell, DK. Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Be careful with saying that. Some places have actually had things taken down. because
Really?
of that. Yeah.
What the fuck? Donkey Kong is
they
here.
Sound really they sound really similar to
They were just singing it, and I mean, they sang for about 40 seconds, but I guess it's a noticeable enough, like a recognizable enough tune or whatever.
Interesting.
stupid.
That
That's
is
stupid.
YouTube just
that
pings
is
it.
interesting.
So
Like-
if you didn't hear that last section, we started singing it taken down, so we had to edit it out.
Jesus.
But yeah, I started playing Donkey Kong 64 again, which was really weird because I'd been watching this interview with Grant Kirkhope, who wrote the music for for Donkey Kong 64 that morning, and I was like, man, I really feel like playing some DK64. That would be perfect right now. And then they announced it, which I didn't think they would because that's a Rare game. So
DK. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a little odd. I mean, is it just because Nintendo still, like, they just hold the rights for Donkey Kong and
yeah, I guess so. But
Banjo-Kazooie was original IP?
yeah, I guess so. Because I think I heard that like Microsoft bought out Rare because they wanted Donkey Kong as a character because Rare had been most notable for working on like Donkey Kong Country and stuff like that. I think that was a rumor, but I like to think it was true that they didn't realize that they wouldn't get Donkey Kong when they bought out Rare. Anyway, Donkey Kong 64 on the Virtual Console is a little bit weird because the C buttons is now the second stick, and everything's inverted, and I can't stop it. But other than that, it's still as fun as it was.
Yeah. I have speaking of like the C buttons on like the second stick, like when I play Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Wii Virtual Console, because that's what I have it on, and I use like the Classic Pro or whatever, and you have to use the right stick to do the C buttons. That shit is such a fucking in theory, it shouldn't be such a pain in the ass, but I push that thing, and, like, it always does something different, and it's freaking me the fuck out when I play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go take my hook shot out or something, and, like, it'll, like, bring me to some other menu. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? What the fuck? I just want to push the thing.
Yeah, I have that problem as well. So it's not just me being stupid.
Yeah, see?
But
It's both of us being stupid.
I might actually have to transfer my Wii data over because you can get a discount on
Yeah, how the hell do you
games
do
that
that?
do get. I don't know. I'll have to look it up because I have a few.
You can get Mario 64 for $2.
See,
I bought them all,
but
except for the one that came free.
if I transfer my Ocarina, like I say, I get a discount on Ocarina of Time because I assume that's eventually going to come out.
I think
like-
that once you when you transfer it, for the moment you play it through the Wii, like the Wii emulator that the Wii U has, and then when there is a Wii U version, you can buy it at a discount.
So then, like, do I get to keep my save data? Because otherwise, I just won't do it.
I honestly don't know.
Interesting.
Probably not.
Yeah. So I'll just beat Zelda on the Wii one and then just never play the one that's on Wii U. Because is there really a difference? Besides playing
Maybe,
with
I
the
think there's
gamepad,
off-screen
maybe?
play. I think all of them come with off-screen play, which could be a big deal for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 64, like, the weird thing about it was, I was trying to play it on my TV, because I wanted, like, the full DK64 experience or whatever.
But it would have been in 4x3.
Yeah, it was in 4x3, and they letterboxed the cutscenes.
What?
So,
That's
it's
a
tiny.
That's a small
It's
cutscene.
really small. So I was, like, trying to play it on my TV and whatever. But every time I sort of, like, looked a little bit down, the same thing was playing on my gamepad, so I ended up playing it like it was like a 3DS game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I wish they'd give me an option to just, like, send that away. Turn that off.
I do like that they've given, like, was it 5 options on how to play DS games? There were a lot.
Yeah.
I quite like that because Dr.
Oh,
Kabushima
and
was a bit weird.
they're releasing Paper Mario.
Oh yes, I can actually
Um,
play that game without it glitching out.
I'm very excited about playing Paper Mario again, because Paper Mario for the N64 is pretty amazing. So the only thing that they need to do now is put GameCube games on the Virtual Console, and then I'll never need another console ever again.
I was just gonna say,
Except for when the NX comes along and it won't be backwards compatible with the Wii.
yeah, and it's got disc slots for every. Well, I don't need one. Never mind.
Oh wait, no, you won't need to because if they
They've got
can
Wii
transfer
games
the
on
Wii
the
Virtual Console, yeah.
See? Wii U is too pro,
The-
and
the-
that's why.
I'm gonna say the only thing that the NX has to have is something more than 32 gigs of hard drive space.
Yeah, they'll have like 70.
I mean, the Xbone and the PS4 are bad enough
Mm-hmm.
because their games are 50, 60 gig each, and they've
Mhm.
only got a 500 gig hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
That is stupid. Yes, you can replace the PS4 one, but it's a bit of a
Mhm.
faff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like... Data is not expensive anymore. I would like a 5 terabyte goddamn hard drive in my games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will buy everything digital. I
Mm-hmm.
will
See,
never
I
be
don't-
able to resell. You will just constantly have me owning your game and get on it.
I still like the physical thing.
I like the physical thing sometimes, but
The
I
physical
always
thing is
sell
still my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I've never sold a Nintendo game ever in my life, and I never will. I still have all my old SNES games and N64 games. Those take up a bunch of fucking room, but I still have them. So that doesn't matter to me as much. Like, I'm happy with the 32 gigs.
Yeah.
I never install anything. By the way, Donkey Kong 64 downloaded in a minute.
It's like 64 meg.
That's why I love doing the virtual console games. Like I bought like Super Mario World, and it was like a couple megs. I'm like, fuck yeah.
This game was so long, and it takes like 30 seconds to download. Future.
So is there anything else worth talking about from the direct, or anything we've?
We can talk about how Zelda's been delayed.
Oh yeah, did we already
See,
mention
I'm
that?
not sad about that. No, we
No.
haven't. But I'm not sad about that. And everyone else seems to be, because it's coming out on the NX now, apparently. But
People don't
Um,
seem to be that upset. People
I'd
are like
rather have, like, we
generally
only
pretty
get-
happy.
we only get Zelda games once every, like, 5 years or so, ish. Well, actually, we had a Link Between Worlds not too long ago.
Yeah.
Every couple of years, but we don't
home
get them.
console wise, it's maybe 1 or 2 per generation.
Yeah, we don't get many Zelda games, so I would rather the ones that come out be really good rather than be really rushed.
Yeah,
Like, I don't mind them taking their time.
Situation.
Yeah, game delays are never an issue. Like for me, like it sucks. Like
You've had a couple this year.
You gotta wait. Yeah.
They're annoying when you're like, yeah, I get to play Zelda. That's a little bit annoying that I won't be able to play it until maybe New Year. But similarly, I would rather wait an extra couple of months and not have a broken ass game.
Yeah. Well, I wish more devs would fucking realize that. But I mean, like, because I mean, you look at the games that were delayed, and like some of the more notable ones, like was Twilight Princess was delayed, wasn't it?
A lot,
quite a bit.
Skyward Sword got delayed quite a bit. A year or two.
Out of like Last of Us was delayed. People were pissed, but look what came out of it. I just don't see the big deal. I mean,
do you know what wasn't delayed?
What?
Assassin's Creed, Master Chief, Watch Dogs.
All the stuff that
actually Watch Dogs was delayed, actually.
Yeah,
and it ended up worse. So.
Man, I love floating through the bottom of the world and spinning around. That's great.
I mean, like, are you really gonna die if you have to wait a few more months? I mean, I'm sure everybody who gets upset over the delays, like really upset, not just like, oh, I'm bummed, but like really upset and like vocally angry. I'm sure they have a massive backlog to play through, and I'm sure they can keep themselves busy while they make sure the game doesn't suck. Because then they'll complain the game sucks. So, you know, one or the other.
You can't win. You can't win either way because it's still going to come out and people are going to be like, "This is the worst game that's ever existed." Because it happens every time. Yeah, exactly. It happens every time. At the minute, everyone hates Skyward Sword. When the new one comes out, everyone's going to hate that game, and Skyward Sword is going to be the best Zelda game that ever was. Promise you.
Does anyone else miss Skyward Sword? It was kind of the unsung hero. Anyone else miss that? Like,
does anyone remember the time that everyone hated the Wind Waker because of its art style, and as soon as the next game came out, I don't remember which one it was.
Twilight Princess.
Yep, Twilight Princess was the worst game, but everybody loved Wind Waker. Like,
I was not into Zelda until the Twilight Princess came. Like, it was a few years before Twilight Princess that I started to get into Zelda, so I missed the Wind Waker thing.
Oh, you didn't miss Majora's Mask being the worst. You missed Majora's Mask being the worst thing ever as well. Then
I'm experiencing Majora's Mask being the worst thing.
Man, it goes Ocarina of Time.
I'm living in man.
You can't get better than Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask is the worst game that's ever existed. Like, it's horrible. It takes everything about the Zelda formula and throws it out the fucking window.
You know what else threw out everything about the Zelda formula? Zelda 2.
Yeah, no one likes Zelda 2, we know. But then when Wind Waker came out, which was after Majora's Mask, everyone was like, man, Majora's Mask was kind of like really dark and edgy for a Zelda game. I really, really liked it. And this one's all twee and like cel-shaded and shit. Like, every single time a Zelda game comes out. I can't wait.
I thought that the initial reaction to Twilight Princess was quite positive because people were like, yeah, it's a bit dark and gritty and realistic. And then they played it and they didn't like it quite so much.
Or people would have gone, this is too dark. Like, what happened to the Wind Waker graphics? Because those were really, really nice.
And that's why Skyward Sword is a mix of the two.
And it looks good. Like, no one complains about Skyward Sword visuals, to be fair.
No, I think that considering it's on the Wii, which is admittedly underpowered, it looked pretty damn good. And their way for fixing draw distance was genius, which was to make everything really blurry in the distance intentionally to look like a painting.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how the new one's going to look, because it looks like it's a mix of that realistic but cel-shaded thing again. I'm a fan.
I'm not. Something about that first clip at E3 I did not like.
Is it because Zelda looked like Zelda? Link looked like the girl?
No, I think it's I like the cel shading in Wind Waker, but something seemed a little off about it. I don't know whether it was just a smidge too much bloom or something. Something felt off, and it looked like pre-alpha type stuff.
Well, it probably was quite early alpha.
Yeah, it probably was, and so I'm hoping that they're not going to show anything at E3, but there'll probably be a direct in November time or something, and they'll show something, and it'll look better.
I think more than anything, the Zelda delay has just made me sad that I won't see more of that game
for a while. Yeah.
Which, to be honest, like there are worse things. Worse things can happen.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Bill.
So
I forgot you were there.
I'm listening.
Yeah, all right.
I think that's it for the Nintendo Direct, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good direct, Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean,
Very,
I still
very good. Could have done with more Star Fox, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, when's their next one? E3?
Probably
Yeah, I guess
E3. It would be a bit weird for them to have one in May, a month before E3.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Sorry, E3's in like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh hell yeah!
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to wait long for probable Star Fox news.
For some reason, I still think it's like February. This year's going by really fast.
Yep, the weather's getting nice. At least for me, anyway.
It's very cold here.
I got the windows open, the fresh air, the rain smell. Oh, it's great.
Do you know what you'd hear if I opened my window?
Birds.
Seagulls.
Oh, wind. Birds being thrashed by the wind is.
Yeah, there's stupid gales. I'm sorry if you're
Yeah.
listening on headphones. That probably sounded awful, but that's how it would have sounded if I opened my window.
No, we had that like a couple of days ago. Like it was knocking all the bins over, so we had like rubbish everywhere on the street. Like it was bad.
We've had it for
was bad.
about a week straight, and now is actually the quietest it's been, so it's quite lucky.
Yeah, I suppose so. They were like, "Oh shit, Permadeath recording. Go quiet. Calm yourself."
Calm down, boy.
So
Yeah.
should we talk about what we've been playing?
Yeah.
So, should we do our stuff first before Bill goes on his massive?
I won't go too long.
6
Either
PS4 games
either
or
way,
whatever.
I'm only gonna talk about more than likely Bloodborne and ESO are my main highlights today.
I'm gonna go and grab a drink when that happens. But yeah,
Yeah, you guys go first.
On Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, as has Cameron.
As have I, yes. For a lot less than.
Can I? Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can check how long I've been playing.
I thought you were gonna like open it up and just go. So, do you want to know how I like this game? And you just get into a fight and you just got a shot going.
Yeah,
I'm really feeling it.
I'm really feeling it. This
Oh.
is the Bernardo's power. I've been
Bernardo's
playing on it for
perspective.
10 hours so far.
Yeah, I'm at maybe 2.5, and most of that was because I got lost in the starting area where you shouldn't get lost at all.
Yeah, I just went around, like, most of my first hour in that game was just going around and getting side quests. Like, not doing them, just talking to people and getting side quests.
I got confused. There is one guy who accepts a quest and then instantly has another quest. I've taken 10 quests from that guy. He's still offering them.
Like, they're just like, I'll go and kill 3 things in the
Yeah.
field. Like, okay. But overall, I really like Xenoblade Chronicles so far. I think it looks a bit naff. I've got to be honest. I think honestly, like the world that you're actually put in, like the whole. Bill, do you need a moment?
Does Bill not know what the word naff means? Or
well, that
I
too.
knew it's going to look like
Yeah.
crap.
And both, but
we master race bastard.
no, it's just I like even like Chronicles X, like when you say the eyeballs, like is it their design or they just look bad?
They just look like
they're
everything
lifeless.
looks really flat. Everything looks really flat and gross, and it's especially jarring to come off of Smash Bros, where Shulk's like designed and actually 3D, to where he has
He's
like
HD.
flat face, flat hair. It's not that it looks terrible. It just
I mean, it looks like you would expect a game on a DS type device to look. It looks good for that, but when you compare it to a Wii U, it does look a little bit weird.
Yeah, but what I was saying about how the game looks, I think that the world looks amazing. I think that whoever made the game, because I don't know.
Monolith
did it.
Soft, I think. Yeah, Monolith.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. But whoever worked on making that world feel massive did a good job, because it feels big, even on the 3DS, which I think is so impressive. I mean, it is on the new 3DS, so I guess we don't know what its limits are yet. So I don't know. I just really like the world and the whole lore behind it, because the whole lore of the story is like there were these 2 giants called Bionis and Mechonis or something.
Yeah.
And they fought in this world that was just made up of water, and then they like killed each other, and then people started colonizing on these like massive Titan robot things. and it's like fantasy but with a bunch of machines in there. It's really like I've never quite experienced anything like it.
Mm.
And I don't know, I really like the world, I really like the characters. I could do without the English accents, I've got to be honest.
I mean, I don't know whether I would prefer different accents, but I do like that, as far as I can tell, the English accents are by English people, not by Americans trying to do an English accent.
Yeah, they
Which,
definitely sound British.
if they had done that, I would have the thing muted the whole goddamn time. But
I could just do
I don't
like
hate listening to it.
proper London Cockney accents popping up everywhere. Like, I don't like them. I don't like it. But
Yeah, rain during a battle.
It was Fiora was the one that got me the most. Because I was just like, can you just not talk? Like, I want to like you, but you need to stop.
Can
talking.
you turn on the Japanese?
Not as far as
No.
I've seen.
No, I don't think there are any options to do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to do with Tales of the Abyss as well, and there's no option for that on the 3DS. So it sucks to be us, I guess. But
Do you have?
Apparently
any
you could.
options?
Apparently you could change it on the Wii version.
Well, screw you, Master Race.
But maybe
Can't
it
get
is.
on Wii U.
Maybe it is on the 3DS version.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Sorry, I'm gonna look this up.
Mhm.
But do you have any niggle issues with it or no?
what?
Is there any stuff that you don't like about the game?
It's mostly how it looks. Like, the 3D on it is fucking awful. Like, there's no point in even trying the 3D because it's got so many, like, it's trying to be really detailed. So when you put the 3D on,
Yeah.
it doesn't work that well. I don't know. I don't think it looks that great.
The cutscenes, I will turn the 3D on. There is no Japanese audio in the 3DS version.
God damn.
Yeah, I'll turn on the 3D for the cutscenes, but during a battle, the things that are 3D are the health bars, which are, like, they feel like they're 10 feet in front of the people that they're talking about, and the name plates of the monster that you're fighting, which is just really weird, and I don't like how screen space is used in that game, because the names of things takes up, it feels like a good third, it's probably less than that, but it takes up so much, and it's always there, as far as I can tell. So it's always blocking your view, and the thing's already quite chaotic in how I'm fighting. I don't know whether it sort of becomes a bit more refined when you know what the hell you're doing. So it feels like the UI is a bit clunky, and the lip flapping is really distracting.
The lip flapping is because it was originally dubbed in Japanese.
I know.
But, like,
And I
every
know that-
JRPG looks like balls when it's put into English.
But it's like 2 seconds of lip flap. I'll go. 2 seconds of lip flap later. Next scene. But
I really like the combat system now that I've gotten used to it. Like, the UI makes sense to me. I've gotten to the point where I actually understand sort of what I'm doing.
I mean, that's
But the first 3 hours of the game, I don't think I did understand. I was just like, yeah, backslash, woo.
I'm vaguely
okay.
behind this guy. I think he looks the same front and back. I'll try backslash.
But there is a boss fight that I think you're on now, where it wants you to do a very specific mechanic. And the way that I learn things in games isn't through reading it. It's through, like, oh, try this action now.
Even through reading it, like, I am doing what it says in the... that's another thing I don't like. The resolution of the text is abysmal in the little tutorial things. Like, I have to bring it really distressingly close to my face to actually work out what it's saying.
I don't have that problem. I think you should probably go to an optician's.
It's fine for everything else. It is just for this text. All the other text in the game is fine. It's just in the tutorial screen.
I've not had that problem.
No. Oh,
But once
I'm old.
I was in that boss fight. The story. I'm trying to do the story. But I keep forgetting. I was in the boss fight, and I was like, okay, I can't damage this guy. There's nothing I can do to damage this guy. So I guess it's one of those boss fights that you're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
But I was in that fight for like half an hour, and I was like, I'm sure I should have lost by now. But every time I go down, like every time I die, some guy comes and helps me back up again, and he's like, "Come on, we've got to band together." And I'm like, "But I want to not do this."
I'm going to try and ask without spoiling. So sorry if it's unclear. So was that before you Because as far as I can tell, that battle is in 2 stages. So is this in the first stage that you just kept?
It's 1 stage.
Well, it happens and then it splits for a cutscene, and then you go back into a fight, I think.
Don't remember. Like, all of it was really, really, like... You're supposed to basically, what you have to do is you have to topple the guy. So you have to go into a chain attack, which I didn't know how to do. Then you have to use a pink attack with Shulk, and then a green attack with Rain. And then another attack with the other guy, like, it doesn't matter. And then you're supposed to, like, go ham on the guy.
Oh.
And I only had to do that once. But it took me fucking ages to figure out how I was supposed to win that fight.
Give me a moment. Let's set up a chain attack. Let's go with that, yes. And do this. Yes. Sorry, carry on.
This is the most this is the most interesting moment in Permadeath history.
I'm just curious to if it goes well.
And now, Dunban, you can use your fist. Is that gonna work? Holy crap! It worked.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, because the way that I had been playing previously, it said you've got to use break.
Yeah, the pink attacks are the break attacks. The green attacks are the topple attacks. So you're supposed to do a break and then a topple. Because like, it's really confusing at first.
Previously, the break attack was in the center, and it was like the power thing. And so the moment that I've now unlocked the Monado, that isn't an option in the middle, so I had no idea where I was supposed to choose. But I knew that I had to use break at some point. But thank you for telling me it was pink. I'm now going to win this battle in like 10 minutes. I'm not playing it now. I've turned it off.
Xenoblade tip corner.
So you cannot spend half an hour of your time fighting Metal Face. There you go.
Thank you for being 9 hours in front of me, so you can always give me those time-saving tips.
So when Bill eventually plays it,
he can speedrun
maybe
it.
he'll remember that tip.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I understand the mechanics of this game.
I'll just pick it up because I'm the god of games. That was a joke. That was a joke.
I would be curious to know how you like adapted to Xenoblade Chronicles, because it's so like different in terms of. I haven't played many JRPGs, I will say that, but it's so different to everything that I've experienced before. It's really unique. I really, really like it.
The combat's definitely not like anything I've seen before.
It's mostly like the weird thing is, it was like, oh, all the characters auto attack, and I'm like, oh god.
I didn't realize that for so long. I was like, how am I supposed to kill it? I can only do 4 moves a hour.
Yeah.
The cooldowns are long.
Cooldowns are pretty long, but you can like upgrade to reduce the cool times and stuff. But yeah, I think if you have a new 3DS and you got it specifically for Xenoblade Chronicles because you like JRPGs and never got the chance to play the original, I think you're really gonna like it. And Bill, you should play Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii and let us know how that is.
I'm gonna boot it up this weekend. I've been planning on it, even if I don't plan on powering through the whole thing like at the moment, because
just a few hours so you can taste.
I mean, it's a game I bought and never played, so I should probably play it at least for a little bit at some point. Like, like gone are the days where I come home with a game and put it in immediately. Now I just I put it on the shelf. What am I doing?
I miss those days when it's like, oh, Christmas, you got your game.
Yeah,
and
you play it.
Christmas Day playing it.
Yep, I remember when I got Animal Crossing for the GameCube on Christmas Day, and I put it in and I set it up that morning, like before I went to my grandmother's house, on my mom's side, and then my grandmother's house, and my dad's side, so I would be gone all day. I did not want to leave the house because like I set it up. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying to like explain it to my cousins, like at my grandmother's house. I'm like, yeah, this, and like they're not getting it. I'm like, you guys don't fucking understand. So those days are gone where like except for like games that maybe have a massive hype train that I want to kind of play, so I can not just so I can talk about them, but like
so you don't get spoiled.
Like Bloodborne and The Order.
Yeah. Wait, what was the one you said before The Order? Bloodborne. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I was trying to segue you.
That's a good segue. Yeah, but Animal Crossing is like one of the greatest franchises of all time, and like it's like
Man, I remembered something the other day. Like they were never going to release that game in the UK, so most people who wanted to play it had to import it from Australia.
What's this? Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing for the GameCube. Like it wasn't originally supposed to be brought out in the UK. It did eventually get brought out, but
I have bought 3 or 4 Animal Crossing games, I play them for like 2 months non-stop, and then I'm just
Yeah.
done. And I wish that I didn't keep buying the bloody thing.
I haven't done that since the GameCube one. And
Do you just like pick it up from time to time and go, oh yeah, this is fun. Oh yes.
Well, no, you don't pick it up from time to time because you'll be just guilty of the fact that everyone has left and your town
Everyone's
is ruined.
left. Weeds
Yeah.
are here.
I remember
Rooster's just like old.
one of the things I miss
busting.
about like the first Animal Crossing, and it goes back to even like Morrowind. Like back then, like when I played those games and those games came out, like the internet, like okay, yeah, there was like forums and cheat code stuff, but like YouTube guides and seeing everything visually like wasn't a thing. So like I remember playing Animal Crossing, and there was like a lady who came to town. She was like in a tent or something like that, and she was like do this trivia game. And like I had no idea because like back then like that game had so much stuff going on in it. Nobody had everything like dissected into a guide yet. So like things weren't 100% discovered. So I'm trying. I took my GameCube to my grandma's house, and I remember this lady in this tent came in, and she had a bicycle in the tent. And I'm like, holy shit! She gives you items every time you do this quiz or whatever. Maybe she'll give me a bicycle, and maybe I can ride it around the village. Even though, like, that was not in the fucking game. Like, I should have known. Like, that, there's no way there's vehicles in Animal Crossing. But I held hope. So I spent the entire evening at my grandma's house trying to get that bicycle. And my uncle, my step-uncle, was, like, busting my ass. And he came walking through. He's like, ah! He's like, jumping from the TV. And then as a joke, he resets it. And I'm like, no. She's not going to be there now. No! I went, and she wasn't in my village anymore. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Uncle Tim, I'm
not only that, you had to deal with Rossetti.
Yep, it just made my life terrible. I'm like, I'm gonna get this bicycle.
On Permadeath before, about how I turned the game off while it was saving and I lost the face of my character. I've told that story before, haven't I?
I think so.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Scary, man.
That. See, if I would have just tried to see nowadays, I would just look up: is there a way to get this bicycle? And if there isn't, well, I'm not going to waste my time doing that, and I'm not going to be eventually disappointed by my step-uncle resetting my console. But
just a quick question: how did we get from a perfect segue to Bloodborne and the Order to Animal Crossing, and not just the like New Leaf, old GameCube Animal Crossing?
Well,
Animal Crossing was hype as fuck, and we always
yeah,
get to talk about it.
Because of the hype thing. Okay.
Yeah, and the seeds were planted, like when I was talking about how like
seeds.
And Ebby said about like Christmas morning when you play your game, like
Right.
and Animal Crossing was that game for me, like where I got it Christmas morning and I immediately turned it on because I was just blown away by that.
I really do miss those things where you'd get like a new game every 6 months and you would play that game to death.
Yeah, that's the only game you play.
Like I was never very good at Banjo-Kazooie, but I played the like Mumbo's Mountain and Treasure Trove like hundreds of times because I thought it was fun.
I feel like I cared more about my games back then. Like, as in, like, I bought a game and, like, I loved that game. I only bought it because I loved it. Sometimes I'd end up buying a stinker, but, like Alundra 2. Why did I even buy that game? Why the fuck did I buy it? Maybe because it's in the back of the box from some random reviewer. The best action RPG of whatever, 1999. I'm like, all right. I get to spend my money I have on this. So... I bought it at like an Ames, which is like a sad ass fucking department store that nobody shopped at. It's now out of business. So it was probably a bargain bin type thing, or I don't know. But yeah, I feel like I treasured my games more back then. Like I have so many games that just like I buy and they're just on the shelf. I think we've talked about this before, maybe even last time, or maybe even in the scrapped episode. Who knows? But
maybe.
It might actually have been. I remember that being
I think we
more
talk
recent.
about this in probably every episode. Like,
yeah.
oh god, my Steam
It's
backlog.
the curse.
Worse.
Yeah, it's the curse of the backlog. It makes you look at games differently. That's why, like, I'm really happy, like with Bloodborne and like me playing. Like, it was a game I bought, like, and put it in like as soon as I got home. And I've been playing it. That's the only game I've been playing, aside from like my MMOs on the side, which I don't even count MMOs because like they're games, but they're just like a service to me. Like they're always there. They're like, oh yeah, I got my MMO. It's like my cigarettes.
That's weird because Xenoblade Chronicles is the only game that I've done that with in a while as well.
See that? It's catching back on. It's not cool. It's cool to care about your games now. You know.
I think I just want to like. I don't want to buy any more games off of Steam until I've at least gone through 50% of them.
That's why I'm so glad I'm 100% broke.
I have an
for...
issue in that I have 253 games.
Yeah. There's a website that tells you how many hours it would take to beat your Steam backlog. Yeah.
I mean, Abby's made great progress on Evoland.
Yeah, you
nearly finished.
gutted that game, yeah.
Have you still not installed it?
I did install it, and then I uninstalled it after it bugged out on me. So I have 200 hours logged in Evoland, and I've never played the game once. Oh, can I talk about what I was playing really quickly? Because I'm gonna go get a drink while you're talking about Bloodborne and stuff. I played Life is Strange episode 1.
Oh.
And I don't know what I was expecting, but that game is like hipster. The game, I feel like.
I hear it's very indie music.
Yeah, it's like I'm this photography student, and I'm like super emo because I just moved to this school where I'm being bullied real hard. I've got this friend, and she's got blue hair and tattoos. She's like Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim. Apart from she's like a weed smoker, and it's just like
Just say a weeb.
a weed.
Smoke weeaboo every day.
Smoke weeaboo every day. Yeah. I don't like the main character. I'm intrigued about where it's gonna go, but I really don't like the main character to play as because she's just so fucking cringeworthy. There's this scene in episode 2 where you sit down on a chair in like a junkyard, and she goes, "Yeah, this is the place that Chloe would hang out. She's a steampunk," and I'm like,
"What the fuck is that?"
She's a steampunk.
Sheena was a steampunker. Like, what the fuck is that?
Not steampunker, just a steampunk.
Yeah.
It's like they missed a word. A steampunk cow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's a steampunk, and like, she's a photography student, and she takes photos with Polaroid film.
Ugh.
You know, that sort of thing. I really like the concept of the game.
Yeah.
But my god, do I hate this character. Because she's just like everything cringeworthy I find in characters, all rolled into one. And then there's a line in the first episode where it's like, yeah, this Final Fantasy film was the best sci-fi film of all time. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's made by Square Enix, as is Life is Strange, so...
oh, that's why. I thought that's a bit of a weird thing to do.
Yeah, they're both made by Square Enix, I guess, so... I don't know. Enjoyed it. We'll play the rest of the episodes, hopefully when they go on sale.
Cool.
Oh, did you buy them as an individual, not the season thing?
I actually watched a little bit of someone playing episode 2, so that's how I know about
okay.
the
So you bought
steampunk
episode
line.
1, and you just watched
I got gifted episode 1, and then the only way that you can buy them is by buying the season pass, which is all of the episodes, and I kind of want to buy them individually, because I don't have 15 quid to drop on a game that I might finish within the year, but maybe not, I don't know. Yeah. So...
I need to make a priority list for my games. I'm just looking at these and I'm like, God.
I'm looking at visual novels, that I'll buy those on sale, and I'll buy Life is Strange season pass on sale as well if I'm allowed. So, yep.
Alright.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne!
I'm gonna get a drink.
The
I'll be right
best
back.
game of the PS4 and ever. Bloodborne.
It is
It's the best PS4 game?
Currently. But the thing is like, I have to preface any Bloodborne talk with this, is like, the Souls games have been around, and if someone doesn't like the Souls games, they won't like Bloodborne.
I almost bought it, and then I saw it was a Souls game.
And now I say that also, and it's odd because I will also preface that, like, one thing I was worried about is I didn't get to finish Dark Souls yet because I thought my saves were corrupted because they switched it from Windows Live to Steamworks, and then they said if you didn't do this by a certain date, your save would be gone, when in reality they lied and my save was just in a folder that all I had to do was copy over. So I'm going to pick that back up after Bloodborne. I was worried because I thought to myself, like, okay, Bloodborne's coming out. I don't want that to make like Dark Souls feel obsolete or old, because like some games, it's not a Souls game in name, but it's still the same From Software Miyazaki philosophy of here's this fucking game and it's gonna kick your ass and you kill stuff and you lose your stuff and you die and all that stuff. And I was hoping it wouldn't make Dark Souls obsolete, and like, it's nice because it doesn't, and that's one thing I'm really happy with, is that like it's almost like it's made to coexist, even though it's not a Souls game, but at the same time you won't like it if you don't like the Souls games. I mean, maybe there's a chance the setting might grab you, and this time around it just might click.
But the gameplay is similar enough
but
to Souls that you
yeah, it's similar enough in the sense that, like, okay, here are these big weapons, or here are these small weapons, whichever one you prefer. They each have their own attributes and their own weight and their own style, and everything kind of swings and clicks in a deliberate way, similar to the Souls games, but not in the same way as Dark Souls, whereas you're usually turtling and like going on the defensive. Like in Dark Souls, you usually have a sword and board, you're using your shield or whatever, and you're waiting for the enemy to attack, and you block with your shield, and then you chip away at them. And in Bloodborne, you're more encouraged to kind of get into their fucking face and like just be more on the offensive. Your best defense is your offense in this game. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting because they took a faster approach to the combat. Like I went and turned on Dark Souls after I had played 30 hours of Bloodborne. And Dark Souls, the combat is considerably slower if you take the sword and board approach, like which is usually the most common from what I've seen. Mm-hmm. It is a lot slower, but it doesn't make it worse. It's just Dark Souls. The Souls series has a more I'll use the word patient, a more patient combat system, if that makes any sense. But and Bloodborne almost feels more like an action game, but it still takes on that same Souls philosophy where these enemies will fuck you up if you let them hit you. Wait and kind of take in what they are going to do. Like maybe don't sit back and just be defensive, but pay attention to what they're doing. Be patient. Don't rush. Don't try to be too aggressive to the point where it gets you stuck in a fucking combo and you get wrecked. But same. I feel like I'm rambling with the mechanics. It's the Souls philosophy, and I feel like what we have is like some developers have their way of making an RPG. Like for the most part, when Square was in their prime, their games were turn-based RPGs, or Monolith Soft, their Xenoblade style right now. That's their style of RPG, the open world, that kind of combat system. I feel like this is From Software's style of RPG. So even if like they can, like their next IP will probably be similar to this, only with a different name and whatever. But I'd say it's similar enough to Dark Souls that a person who doesn't like the Souls games won't like it, because you still die, you still lose your spooky points which are called Blood Echoes.
I was gonna say
no
spooky points.
That's the thing is like, is it still the philosophy of the Souls game? So when you kill stuff, you still gather those points. And in Dark Souls, they were called Souls. In Bloodborne, they're called Blood Echoes. I still call them Souls because I'm just used to it, and like I just don't want to say the word echoes. So when you die, you lose them, and then you have to go back and get them where you died. It's usually either on the ground, or in this case, it's inside of an enemy, and you have to pay attention to an enemy, and his eyes will be glowing. And when you kill him, you get your echoes, your spooky points back. Right. Go ahead.
Is there like significant like time punishment for death? Like, are you sent back a long way, or is it like if you're in a room and you die, you just respawn outside of the room?
Mm-hmm. That is where like if see, it was the same thing in Dark Souls. It's where you get sent back a pretty significant distance depending on where you die, because the way the checkpoints work is usually in the beginning of every area is a lantern, and similar to Dark Souls, the bonfires, when you light the lantern, or whatever the bonfire was called, light the bonfire, I guess, I don't remember what it was called in Dark Souls, but when you light that lantern, that's your checkpoint. And there usually isn't another one of those in the area until after you kill the boss for that area. So when you're deep into an area and you die, you are going back to the beginning of that area. The only saving grace, and it was the same thing with Dark Souls, is that when you go back all the way back to that checkpoint, there are usually shortcuts you uncover as you explore the environments. So for example, in the very first environment in Bloodborne, there is a bunch of boxes by this ledge, and when you break these boxes and jump down, you eventually find like a gate that loops back around to the checkpoint. So if you want to get back to a certain area, you can now go through that gate instead, and it'll take you closer to the end of the level, opposed to you starting at the beginning of it. So there are ways to like circumvent the pain in the ass that is running all the way back to where you just died by discovering like shortcuts, but it's still a pain in the ass.
So the world stays altered after you die? Or is it just that you discover that this is actually where a shortcut is, and you can... is the shortcut always there, or do you have
Yeah. Once you discover it, it's there forever. Like, so for example, in the first area, there's two ways to go. Like in Central Yharnam, which is the first area, there's the path on the right, which is the one that's available to you right from the start, and then a gate to your left, which is locked. And when you try to open it, it says this is locked by another device or something like that. So you could eventually wrap your way around and unlock that gate, so you can go that way instead, which takes you further to the end. And then once you have that gate open, it stays open. Same with all of like the secret paths and stuff; they stay uncovered once you uncover them, but you have to find them first.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm loving it. I don't want to go too much onto it, but the only things I can really say is if you don't like the Souls games, you probably won't like it. But it is different enough in its combat approach that there may be a chance, if you're intrigued by From Software's philosophy on like dying and penalty and difficulty and all that stuff, then it might be worth looking into. I think it's the best PS4 exclusive at the moment. But
so maybe pick up a rental copy just to get a taste. Like,
yeah.
Can you, like, how long do you think it takes for you? Because you've put 30 hours in. How long would you say it took for you to get a good feel of how the game felt?
It clicked at it clicked as being like a really great, like, see, it was different for me because like I liked Dark Souls. So like I was immediately familiar with some of the mechanics, like the blood echoes and the souls, and having to light the lanterns as your checkpoints and all that stuff, and how they don't tell you anything. And that's the thing where if you couldn't get into Dark Souls or you don't have a lot of experience with the Souls games, is that these games don't tell you anything. They don't explain a goddamn thing to you. Maybe in a vague way and like a little small tutorial message in the beginning of the game, but so for me, probably within the first 5 hours for me, when I really like knew I'd be playing this for the long haul, once you beat like the first boss, well, the first two bosses, because they're not that far apart from one another, I was like, yeah, it clicked. I think the setting clicks more than Dark Souls with me too. I like the whole I don't even know what you'd call it, Lovecraftian kind of England looking streets with monsters.
Someone said that it was exactly like a particular artist's style, and I can't remember what it was. Probably doesn't mean anything to you anyway. No, I can't find it. Oh well. So rather than a time thing, you reckon that maybe by the second boss, people would have a good idea of whether it's their thing or not.
I think once you like beat a boss in a Souls game, like, and it was the same thing with Demon Souls for me when I didn't get to beat that either because it was stolen from Alice. And same with Dark Souls. Like when you first start seeing yourself make progress in a way that isn't just, oh, I killed these few enemies over here in this corner, but in the sense of, oh, I actually beat this giant fucking monster on this bridge that is kicking my ass for the last hour, and you finally beat him, and like you see him go down, and it tells you that your prey has been destroyed, and you get all these points, and you get a trophy, and you get to light the lantern, and you get to unlock another checkpoint, so you're like, wow, I can finally not keep going back to that same stupid one, and I don't know, it's just an odd sense of satisfaction. That's what a lot of people use to describe those games, like, oh, it's really satisfying to beat a boss. And it really is, and like I've seen,
you've got to hit your head against a wall, for hours to be able to get that satisfaction.
The second boss is terribly annoying, and I was so happy to have beaten it. I mean, a lot of people I saw online quit or just kind of put it down for a while, and they're not going to play it for a little bit because of that boss. That boss is a pain in the ass. Even knowing what he's going to do and learning his mechanics, he's still a pain in the ass. But I would recommend finding a way to give it a shot if you're not into the Souls games, but you're still kind of intrigued by it and what everyone's saying, because it's really well made. I think the combat's great. I like the combat more than Dark Souls. I did say that they can coexist, and I did go back and play Dark Souls, and it was a little bit slower, but I do like the pacing of Bloodborne's combat, and that's where, like, I say that it's a Souls game only really an inspiration. It's like people say, oh, it's the true Dark Souls 2, or it's a Souls game in all but name. I mean, like, it's the same philosophies, and it's the same like design decisions that Miyazaki and From Software use in the Souls games, but at the same time, they do feel really different when you actually play them side by side. And yeah, there's probably a lot I could talk about Bloodborne, but I probably won't, because all you have to know is it's good, and I like it. And it's fun.
Good.
The load times suck. That's the one complaint a lot of people have.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Are
they patching that?
They said they're looking into ways to fix it. It's one of those.
Second.
Yeah, that's what makes dying more painful, I think, than having to restart at the checkpoint. is having to sit there at load screen, and it's. I have my computer like right here, like I have my screen set up here, and like whenever I die, I just immediately go on like NeoGAF or Reddit, or like I go on Twitter, and it's like, okay, I'm not really paying attention to the load screen, so they're kind of non-existent for me because I'm not just sitting there staring at it. But like they aren't good and they aren't fun. So like in the Souls games and in Bloodborne, you have to farm. Like when you kill stuff and you get the echoes, and you use those echoes to level up. So there are times where you need to farm those points and go back and reset the area and kill the same enemies and get the points and reset the area, and having to sit through the load screens makes the farming longer than it has to be. So that's a disappointing factor. One complaint I saw people have with Bloodborne is that it doesn't have as much loot as the Souls games, and that it doesn't have as much content as the Souls games, which is kind of an odd complaint I saw, and it was one I took issue with. This is the last thing I'll say about Bloodborne. And that I don't think it's as much of an RPG maybe as the Souls games. I feel like they took a much more action game approach to it, and that's why you aren't seeing all this weird... And the thing is, the complaint's so odd because there are quite a few named unique weapons that aren't just Saw Blade. Like, there's a lot of names like the Tonitrus and Blade of Mercy and all these weapons that are, like, unique that people are complaining they aren't getting. Like, because in Dark Souls you have, like, stuff like the Drake Sword and all this other stuff. I find the complaint interesting because each weapon, that's one mechanic I could talk about, and I do want to talk about the insight mechanic. I'm sorry, I just found more stuff I wanted to talk about. Each weapon has a transformation. They're called trick weapons. So you have a little one-handed hand axe, and when you press L1, it switches into a giant two-handed, like scythe-looking axe. So both of those have a different moveset and a different design. So each weapon is essentially two in their appearance and their moveset, and on top of that, there are quite a few unique weapons. So I don't understand the weapon complaint. And then the content complaint I saw, I'm not going to talk much about it, but someone said that it has less content than Destiny. And I saw someone say that 3 times. 3 people have said that.
Okay, not the same person said it 3 times.
On NeoGAF and Reddit, I saw 3 different people say that this game is more half-baked than Destiny. And I don't understand that at all.
Do you think that's because you haven't quite found everything there is to experience in Destiny?
No.
Okay. I don't know, like it might have just been like
it's
talking about end game Destiny stuff.
I've
experienced it. Then.
I've done. They might be looking at it with sheer like maybe like they're looking at the mission list in Destiny, even though all those story missions I don't count because you're doing the same thing over and over again for the most part, regardless. Yep. I'm not citing Destiny. Like, it's still a game that like I feel like Destiny maybe got a bad rap in a few spots. I still like Destiny, but like you're still doing the same stuff, and even in end game, you're still doing the same strikes over and over again, and then that one raid over and over and over again. I've done the first raid. I haven't done the second raid in Destiny, so like I've played a lot of Destiny to the point where like I've seen everything. Like I think I need to see. But with Bloodborne, I don't understand the complaint because the game has tons of areas and tons of unique enemies, and I'm 30 hours in, and I'm only on the second world, so to speak, in quotations. There's like 3 or 4 different like zones to go to that include a bunch of different areas inside of them. So I'm only in the second one now, and I'm 30 hours in. So I don't know what people are talking about, but yeah. And then there's the insight mechanic, which ties in with one of Raphael's questions, and I guess we could probably go into questions then not long after I answer this.
Okay.
Oh wait.
I've not talked about anything.
Oh wait, you played? I forgot.
You do this.
I just
on your long rounds and you're like, all right, let's go on to questions.
I just forgot.
Oh,
I forgot. Since you were both talking about Xenoblade, I just kind of forgot.
That one.
We also haven't talked about Hatful Boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Transplant that in.
Yeah, I could probably throw that audio in.
Here is a small segment about Hatful Boyfriend that we all played.
It'll be in here.
A few weeks ago.
It'll be in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that you just said smegment.
No, I didn't.
That's disgusting. Yeah, so we actually.
Too,
what?
Have you been playing it, Bill?
Well, yeah.
Oh, right. What an odd coincidence.
This is crazy.
Okay, I'm interested. What routes did people go for?
I went for the teacher.
I went for Nagiki.
I forgot the teacher's name. It was like Kanazuki or Kanazuki. I thought with a K.
I went for Ryota.
That seemed like it would be the sad one.
I'm getting a pillow of Ryota, so I might as well.
Get acquainted.
You
For
know,
those of you who don't know what
This-
Hatful
I guess
Boyfriend
this is
is, it's a
technically
dating
spoiler
simulator.
territory.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. We're gonna spoil Hatful Boyfriend. If for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a pigeon dating simulator. Where you play as
it's
a girl.
interesting.
I didn't know. Okay, you played as a girl, so I named my person Bill Conway. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. That it was Bill Conway. And I also forgot that in Japan I say the last name first, so people just called me Conway the whole fucking game. So I should have recorded this in some way at some point because like they're calling me pretty and you know, I'm hanging out with my teachers, Bill Conway, going arm in arm to the festival with the fucking teacher, and it was fucked up. It was weird.
Takes me an arm and wing.
But I rolled with it though. I rolled with it. I loved it. How are your routes, by the way? How did your routes go?
I have questions about the game. Why do I live in a cave?
Now I can actually answer this question, but
I know there was an apocalypse.
I understood that, but why are there like shops and bars and I live in a cave?
So the game is actually two halves. There's the dating sim half, and then there's a second half that comes after you complete, I think, 6 of the routes. And that second half of the game is like an alt route that explains the backstory of the world and things. So, do you mind if I spoil?
Do it, man.
A bit.
Go for it.
So basically, bird flu was going crazy, and people were trying to. This is based on my wiki reading. People were trying to deal with it, so they tried to create a variant of bird flu that would kill the birds that caught it. But it went wrong and made the birds super intelligent and started killing people, which is why there's no people. And the pigeons have basically just overtaken the world, and we are attending the pigeon school as like a sign of good faith between the two groups, and we live in a cave because we're basically an outcast.
It's actually incredible.
Right. Well, Hatful Boyfriend.
The school side of things.
Yeah. None of us got that far.
I'm interested. I gotta be honest. How are your routes then?
Mine sucked.
Did you know, because you didn't see my message that said it's gonna take you about an hour.
Yeah, well, it's not the length that made me mad. Because if most routes are an hour, that's fine. But this was the shittiest route. Like, I'm like, okay, I like the whole, like, I read a Korean manga about a teacher-student thing. I'm like, oh, it was really sweet. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go for this man. He's sleeping all the time. I'm with the guy with narcolepsy.
He sleeps all the time. Maybe he'll sleep with me.
He was cute.
So I'm like, okay, you know, I see he's an option. I see that, you know, what I really wanted to do was explore the lesbian relationship between Scooter Bird. What happened to her? I'm like, what? That was the coolest character in the whole game. She said the coolest shit.
I ended up getting her engaged to some other.
Yeah, Bill didn't take the job.
Man.
If you took the job in the cafe, then she shows up.
See, I
and
felt
meets, one of the characters, and
I felt bad. I felt bad for
lovers of the past.
Ryota. He needed as much money as he could get to support his mother. So
you
I'm like,
live in a goddamn cave.
I'm like, you take it, Ryota. God damn.
I didn't. I went for Ryota's route, and I'm like, sorry, Ryota.
He said I already have a job, so I'm like, no, screw you.
But then after you
I need a job.
After you decline the job, it says like Ryota has to take multiple jobs in the summer to support his mother's medical bills or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, good. I did the right thing.
God.
Yeah.
I wonder if. Okay, spoilers for Ryota's route. His mum dies at the end of that route.
Oh god.
I wonder if she wouldn't have died if I gave him the job.
What do you think you got the bad route?
I don't know, it ended really weirdly because he went, you know, I love you and everything, but I'm in so much pain because my mum died.
Oh,
we should
like
go
a
our
bad
separate
route.
ways. And then I went, no, I love you so much. I just want to spend as much time with you as I can. And then it ended.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
basically.
that sounds like a bad route.
Yeah, the teacher route, and that's just some way to get a better version of the teacher route. Mine ended in the way that, like, I confessed to the teacher, and the teacher's like, "Yo, I'm fucking old, man. Like, you
yeah, you got the bad ending, man.
you're a fucking kid, man. Get the fuck." He said, like, because what happened with the teacher was she found some picture that fell out of his cell phone or whatever, and It was like scribbled over, and I assume his like wife died or something like that, and like he's like, I never want to love again, and it's some melodramatic shit, and then you're like, but I love you, and then he's like, yo, how about you come find me when you're older, and we'll do it, and then like that was it. I'm like, oh come on, man.
But he's a bird. He's not gonna live forever.
It was fucked up.
I will say, I played no human portraits the first time, and then I did the second time. I think Oko-san's is my favorite portrait of the lot.
Yeah, I'm going for his route next. I need
Yeah,
that.
he looks exactly the same, except he's wearing like glasses and a suit.
Okay.
Is that the pudding guy?
He's the guy who goes "coo" and
Yeah.
has like proper subtitles. Yeah.
Oko-san.
But no, I went for Nagaki, and that was weird. I have no idea if I got the good route or the bad route, because Nagaki, I should have realized this when I realized he was a mourning dove. He's a ghost. He killed himself.
Well, they pulled some Clannad shit on you there.
Oh god.
Damn.
And you admit your love to him, and he basically says that he's been dead for at least 5 years, which is actually related to what happens in the second half of the game, and that he's basically just been numb to everything. But by you being there, sort of constantly saying what's going on in the school and things, he feels like he's spent a year in school and that his life's fulfilled and things, and basically, as he's confessing to you, he fades away.
Oh my god.
Yo, dude, fuck this game, man.
What the hell? Oh my god.
That's fucked up.
Oh my god. Okay, Hatful Boyfriend. Way deeper than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, so we all had shitty endings, basically.
I don't know whether because based on backstory stuff, I know that he does kill himself, so I don't know whether there is a good route for the ghost.
Well, I wonder if like he
can't leave the library.
I wonder if him confessing to you and fading away is him finally being able to leave and like find peace.
Maybe I might be the only one who got the good route.
You might because he's a ghost. Yeah.
Died forever.
I'm positive I got the good ending because we ended up together. It was all like, oh, my mum died and I'm sad about it. I'm positive because I bought
so
him the
you
right
did
beans. He loved the beans.
I can't remember whether I got the right beans.
Me neither.
I think
My teacher was like, I just like all beans. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have to worry about this then.
So the question is, are you going to play more?
Yes, I loved the game.
I want to see
I thought
what
it was so funny.
like Bill said about the length. I like that each route is around an hour because it means that I could play it in an afternoon, whereas with like Dandelion or whatever, where a route is like 6 hours or whatever, that is a lot of time to invest to replay through a lot of text you've seen before.
You probably shouldn't play Clannad if you think that about Dandelion.
I'm not going to play Clannad.
The routes are very long with Clannad and games like that.
Yeah, I would probably play Clannad and just pick one route and do that one route. Like what's nice about Had It With a Boyfriend, yeah, like I played it like last minute. Like we were able to talk about this game on Sunday. I started this camp like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna beat it in time. But then I'm like, oh nice, like it was shorter than I expected it to be, but like I didn't hate that because now like there are like 5 or 6 or 6 routes all total or something like that. Or
there are
it's like 7,
4, 6, 8.
8. So that's good. So it's like an 8-hour game basically,
And then the second half.
So like I like that I can finish this route and now I can go beat this other route in like one sitting and it works out. And I mean I wasn't totally weirded out by it, but I mean like I've never played a visual novel or any game in particular where I'm hunting men opposed to women.
See, that's all I play.
Did you care?
The only thing that weirded me out was it would describe actions as if the birds were people.
Yeah.
Like Ryota would pull you along by the hand or whatever. I'm like, I can just imagine there is a pigeon sat on my finger, flapping to bring me along to like. I can't imagine it.
That's the other thing. I don't know whether like the birds are now people size or whether they're still bird size.
I don't know.
I assume
they're just birds. No, they must be birds because they must be normal bird size. No, they must be normal bird size because there's in the Ryota route there's a little story about how you find him after he'd just been born and you have to you climbed a tree holding him in your arm to put him back in the nest. So
but he could grow to be like 6 foot tall.
I doubt it though because it seems like they still live in nests.
Okay.
Like his mum gave birth to him in a nest.
There are several issues that I have with the game, though. Number one, the skip button. It skips all text, whether you've read it or not. So if you're playing a new route, don't use the
don't
skip
press the
button
button.
unless you're using it to get to the point where you actually start to make choices, and then you can just save the game and
Yeah.
start from there. And every visual novel I've played thus far, which is like 4, there are so many spelling mistakes. Does no
Yeah.
one check anything?
Most visual novels aren't primarily made by English speakers, so I think in the translation
I would
part
pay
of
for
making the
early
game.
access to see a script of a visual novel and just fix it
Well,
all.
good news. Backstage Pass is on early access right now for 23 quid. So
Are they going to
don't know
accept
why
my script edits?
I don't know why this is on early access, but it is.
That's a good
Makes
point.
me
How can a
mad.
visual novel be? What are they going to change?
Don't know, but it's on early access.
Cool.
Fair enough. So we're all going to play more.
I did enjoy it.
I think I
It's-
might actually play through the whole thing.
It's the
over
first
this.
visual novel I played through and completed a route in.
Oh, congratulations!
It's not much of a feat, but it has me excited to play more visual novels though. Like now I'm even more. I mean, I was gonna play Steins Gate anyway when it came out in Vita, but I'm even more excited now to play Steins Gate on Vita.
You should play Dandelion.
Is that hunting? Is that man hunting too?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
hunting.
And
I
all
think
all the boys are rabbits and cats.
Oh wow.
I mean, you've already entered into the animal-based relationships, so At
If
least
you
with
don't agree
Dandelion,
that
at least
Jiwoo is the best,
anthropomorphized.
though, I'm quitting the podcast.
Why would I say Smegman? That's a weird thing to say.
It definitely sounded like you said Smegman.
That's funny.
Why are you hearing such dirty things, Abby?
What's a Smegman?
I don't know. but
It's
it
the
sounds
new.
awful.
It's the new permadeath.
You know, like Smeg, the word from Red Dwarf. No?
No, I've not seen Red Dwarf.
What the fuck?
I'm not a huge fan of. I keep wanting to call him Craig David, but he's not Craig David.
Craig David.
He's Craig Charles. I like Craig Charles in Robot Wars.
What about Takeshi's Castle?
Oh, and Takeshi's Castle's great.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not friends if you don't like Takeshi's Castle.
But I wouldn't say that has Craig Charles in it. He's just talking over it.
It would be even better if it had Craig Johnson.
Craig Charles participates in... Did you ever have Takeshi's Castle, Bill?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
What is Takeshi's Castle?
So it's a Japanese game
really?
show that for some reason aired here, and it's just stupidly difficult challenges that people put themselves through. Sort of, I guess, in a Wipeout type way, if the Japanese did Wipeout.
You know,
And
people actually seem to get injured quite a bit.
yeah, it's hilarious because the things are just so absurd. And it's basically an impossible game because you are basically completing these challenges to get into a final round
Mm-hmm.
where you have to basically destroy Takeshi's army by shooting a squirt gun at paper rings, and they're shooting squirt guns at your paper rings. And like I think that the prize is either amazing or really crap. I get confused with the Crystal Maze.
I think it's really crap. But I think I've seen maybe one person win Takeshi's Castle before.
Yeah.
Like it's not very often that it actually happens.
No.
Man, you missed out, Bill.
I mean,
Are there
probably
like
have challenge.
other like ways I can watch old ones?
Probably.
Probably YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Cool.
I'll find it for you.
Nice. Do that.
Anyway.
So you wanted to talk about because you've played more of Hatoful Boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about that?
I mean, there's not really a lot I can say past it's a dating sim with pigeons in it.
So you haven't gotten to the
Like-
second part of
No, I haven't yet.
Oh.
But I like the fact that I can just pick it up when I've got a spare hour.
Mm.
Like, say there's an hour before an episode of anime airs or whatever. I can just play a route, and it's really easy. Like, it took more effort to get the bad ending than I was expecting. I don't know. I just really like the fact that I can just pick it up, go 45 minutes, woo someone, get an achievement for it. It's quite nice. Quite nice.
Fair enough.
Very much looking forward to Mariota Body Pillow.
I need to get a body pillow.
Yes, you do.
I don't know where to get one from.
IKEA.
IKEA. Wow, IKEA's bloody miles away.
Don't get one then.
Alright then. Have you played anything else, Abby?
Cook served delicious again.
I'm very sorry about that.
Cook, sir, da.
Delicious.
I started again because I was like, I'm gonna be crumbs at this game. I haven't played it in so long. I'm gonna be really bad at this game. Picked it up almost instantly. Like,
I am quite efficient, except for when I'm only on day one because I'm scrub. But I chose to do the drinks. Those are my biggest downfall with my keyboard controls because I keep wanting to like go down a size, which instantly puts drink in. I'm like, no. There's no way to scrap. I wish there was a way to scrap a thing.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Is that you have one chance to get it right or break your combo.
Yeah. Also,
my problem is
cheese.
you know the dish cleaning mini game where you press like left and right on the arrow keys really really fast.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I spilled apple juice on my keyboard like a couple of months ago. Now my right arrow key just sticks. So it doesn't work anymore. But I'm definitely having fun with Cook Serve Delicious again. Surprisingly good game. And I've played 25 hours of it.
Actually 25 hours. Not
Actually 25 hours.
Fake Evoland 25 hours.
I've played Evoland for 200 hours, I think you'll find. Not 25.
Sorry, my bad. I was off by a factor of 10.
But yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Cook Serve Delicious, always good one.
I only have 2 games to talk about, so it's okay, Bill. I played Ori and the Blind Forest. Like, I finished it. I blitzed it last weekend.
Oh God, you're talking too much. You need to hurry up.
Okay, I blitzed it because I wanted to talk about it last week in the Permadeath podcast, but we didn't quite get to it because of, I think Bill was having family over or something. So there is no denying that the art style of the game is gorgeous.
You can slow down, man.
Oh, okay.
I was joking, but I just wanted to see how long it would be until someone said
I flubbed a few words. I'm sorry.
It was very good though. It was very good. You're on a good pace.
It looks good. I feel like the ending is massively disappointing. And the music was good. Well, it's great until you hear it like 10 times over because you keep dying on the same bit and it just loops. I don't think it's my kind of game, but I finished it because I wanted to, and I'm proud of myself for it.
I'm proud of you.
But there is an achievement for not dying in that game. I died 876 times. So
wow,
I'm not going to ever get that.
Wow.
Yeah. Damn game. And the other game I played was Star Fox 64. It's this new game from this little Japanese company. Nintendo, because you know Ninetales is like a, I mean it's a Pokemon, but it's also like a Japanese mythical creature type thing. So I think that's what they're going for. I'm not sure, but it's a bit weird because they fly in space, and I didn't really have that as I didn't think that was how ancient Japan worked. It seems really short. I think I'm missing something. There's like 6 missions, and it looks like there's alternate routes I could take, but I don't know how.
Right, the alternate routes are a bit weird because they're like secrets hidden in the game that you need to find in each level to like continue to go down those routes.
Okay.
So for example, in Corneria, which is the first one, to get to the hard route, you have to do a very specific set of tasks, which is save Falco, like don't let Falco have to leave. So Falco is still there. And then there is a bit where there are these like arches over water, like stone arches.
Yep.
You have to fly through all of those. And there'll be a trigger when you're doing something right if Falco says something like pretty smooth flying fox. And then he'll go, follow me, Fox, and then he'll take you to a secret boss, which will take you to a different boss.
Okay.
Don't know how anyone figured them out, to be honest.
No,
but
that's like pre-internet somehow figured it out. My only other thing is I hate the Landmaster level.
Oh
so
no,
much.
don't you worry. Don't you worry. There's something worse than the landmaster in this game. Which is the little submarine thing.
Like, I'm sure I should have failed that level because I didn't hit any of the switches that I was supposed to. I got pummeled to hell, and I don't actually know how I killed the boss on that one.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Don't worry, I don't like the
like-
landmaster either. I really, really, really don't like the landmaster. But the submarine is like substantially worse in my opinion.
Is it because it's basically swimming mechanics but going faster?
Yeah, sort of like on rail swimming.
God damn it.
It's really weird. And I love Star Fox, but I feel like the game would benefit a lot more if it was just like spaceships instead of little submarines and tanks.
Yeah.
Unless they made the controls a little bit better, because I just feel like the whole aiming reticle with the Landmaster is just clunky, and
yeah,
I don't know why that is the final smash that they chose, but they did. Could have had like an R-wing come down, and then you could have done a Samus thing, you know. But they didn't. They chose the Landmaster.
I mean, I have played a few other things, but
But how are you finding Star Fox? I'm curious.
So I don't know whether it's because I didn't experience it first time round, so I know that people have a lot of nostalgia for it, which I obviously don't have.
Careful what you say.
Yeah, I'm being very careful. People, I think that I would have liked it a lot if I played it first time round. Like at that age, I enjoy it, but
you don't get it.
Yeah, it's not making me feel like I want to play every game in the franchise. I will probably still pick up the Wii U one, but I am not in a massive rush to do so after playing 64.
You should wait 10 years and see if you want to play it then, and then you'll understand my peril.
Maybe. I mean, maybe once because I've only gone through it once, and it didn't take me very long. So, if I go through a couple of times, maybe I'll feel like I get into it more, and I'm not just constantly running into walls and sucking. Yeah, I think I'm just 10 years too late.
Yeah, I think that one of the things about Star Fox for me is that I grew up with
or even more than 10 years actually. Jeez.
Yeah, I grew up with Star Fox games. Like Star Fox Adventures is one of my favorite games. No, that's nothing like any other Star Fox game, but it is a Star Fox game. I really liked Assault. I really liked 64. I didn't like Command. I thought that was irredeemably awful. But I've always played Star Fox games, and you know, it's been 10 years since we had a decent one, which was Star Fox Assault, which a lot of people actually didn't like because it had a lot of like on foot missions, I suppose. The Landmaster in that was actually kind of fun because it wasn't on rails. You got to like just drive it around.
Yeah,
it's quite nice. But I really liked that game. No one else did. So maybe I'm the only Star Fox fan left, but don't care. I want that fucking game. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I will play Adventures. I'm probably going to bring it with me.
So I can play it for you and be like, no, this is what you're supposed to do, you silly bin.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm glad that my Christmas present to you went to good use.
I've just been... It's because of this backlog that I'm just feeling like I should be playing everything, and I play nothing.
And now you're part of Permadeath, you're just, oh shit.
I've got to play stuff. They ask me... I mean...
We didn't...
Evidently, I could just not actually play anything, and no one would be any the wiser, because, you know, Bill just ignores me all the time.
Can we just do a mid podcast announcement, because this was in episode 16, I believe.
Okay. I mean, we're close to the end, but sure.
Yeah, Kinross, you're officially a member of the Permadeath.
Welcome. I think everyone's picked up on that on Twitter, even.
I hope so.
I hope so.
In case you didn't know, Kinross is here to stay.
Forever.
And hopefully we can get your Kurama and Kubo back at a point.
That'd be a nice luxury.
That sounded so sarcastic.
For me in the Super make me a fighting character in Smash Bros.
Yeah,
You
Robo
and-
Kinross.
You and Adam Sandler, I'm gonna submit those ballots. But yeah, I feel like I didn't explain Bloodborne well enough.
Do you wanna
that-
go back to Bloodborne?
No. I'm just
I think that my half hour on Bloodborne is quite
no.
I was sort of like absent for the first bit of it, but did you answer the question? Is it basically a Dark Souls game?
Yes.
Yeah, and it isn't.
You said it was.
No. I said I said
At its core, it's a
I
Souls
said in its philosophies, like the RPGs that From Software makes carry on that same philosophy of like getting the points and dying, go back to your checkpoint. But at the same time, like the core basis of these games are how you fight enemies, and Bloodborne does it a lot different to the point where they don't feel the same. But at the same time,
We've
if
already
you
discussed this in the podcast, haven't we?
but at the same time, if you don't like Souls, you probably won't like this because they're similar in idea.
They're not alike at all, but if you don't like Souls, don't bother with Bloodborne.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, you could say that like Bravely Default's not the same as like Orishika Tainted Bloodline, but they're both turn-based JRPGs. But like, if you don't like the systems in Orishika, you still might like Bravely Default, in a way.
Sorry to bring that back up.
It's an interesting game. I think in the canon of the Souls series.
So is it canon to Souls?
No, it's a new IP. And that's why it's interesting. Is that it's like this is the way From Software, I believe, is makes their action RPGs. This is a From Software action RPG, which came from the Souls games, but it's now just kind of like how they make their games now. Like I feel like any IP they make from that Miyazaki guy will be this, even if it's not necessarily called. I think it's like Hideteki something. I don't know his first name.
He guided me making Dark Souls. It's been awesome.
But you won't like it off the bat probably if you don't like Souls for the reasons that Bloodborne is hard. But at the same time, I think the combat feels different enough so that there is a way. If anyone has any questions about Bloodborne, ask me on Twitter. I'd probably do a better job.
But in case you forgot,
Under
what
that
he said
environment.
20 minutes ago, he has now given you a refresher course.
I wasn't here, to be fair.
I was originally gonna say if I don't feel like I explained it well enough, so hit me up on Twitter. But then I'd be asked if it was if it was essentially a Dark Souls game. But no, it's an interesting game, I think, in that sense. But anyway, I did mention I had played The Order last episode. I like The Order. That's all I'm gonna say about The Order. As I wouldn't buy it, but I'd rent it, and I'd probably buy it when it was cheaper. And I wouldn't be mad if I bought it, but at the same time, I wouldn't. So. That makes any sense.
£38 from CEX, but they will buy it for $9. So
gotta love that.
9.
Gotta love that.
So stupid.
although that said, when we first recorded 16, they were selling it for 42 and buying for 12.
Mm-hmm.
So
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, both values are going down.
I played the first Mega Man too.
Mega Man 2.
Have either of you played? TOO. Have either of you played any of the Mega Man games?
Nope.
I'm not big on Mega Man. Like I played some of them, but I just think they're too. I'm not good with platformers. I'm really bad with platformers.
Based on my experience with Ori, I don't think that I want to play anything that is designed to be difficult.
That is that's a hard game. Mega Man is a hard game. I still haven't beaten the last boss.
Didn't it glitch out?
I've been trying. I don't think.
Just suck?
I don't think so. I think I just suck.
Okay.
I just can't. I'm really bad at patterns, and like when the last boss, well, apparently the first phase of the last boss, I find out that there's other phases, so I'm like, well, I'm never gonna beat it because by the time I get past phase 1, I'm probably gonna be almost dead and out of lives. But
that reminds me
yeah.
of my biggest bugbear with Ori, actually, that I'd like to say.
Do it.
You get health orbs that increase your health bar, but it's completely meaningless because the enemies seem to scale the amount of damage that they do to you according to how much health you get. So in the beginning, you take 3 hits, you're dead because you've got 3 health pots or whatever. And then towards the end, I had 7 or 8. But each attack would do 3 pieces of damage to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd still be dead in 3 hits. It's completely meaningless. It pissed me
Don't
off.
you just love games? Don't you just love
You should play Guacamelee, Kinross.
them?
I started and then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm getting out right now.
Get out while you still can.
Speaking
It
of
was bugged on my computer because it just played
Guacamelee,
at double speed and it was impossible. Like, can you imagine playing in Guacamelee at ×2 speed?
no, I don't even want to play it anymore on one times, on one time speed. Kinross, did you say you had something about MMOs you wanted to ask me or something?
Yeah, I was gonna leave it to the questions thing. I was gonna pretend to be someone else.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, like games you've played? Because I'll just save my ESO stuff for that question then.
No, like I said, I've been playing a lot of bits of games.
Yeah.
And I just want to be in a better position to talk about stuff, I guess.
Mhm.
So maybe in a few episodes I'll talk about things.
Do you want to talk about cities at all, or
What?
cities?
Oh, cities. I suck at it.
Skylines.
I did eventually work out why my power wasn't working. Thankfully, it's because I didn't connect the advanced turbines to my grid.
Oh.
Because the way that it works is you put the advanced turbines down, it says available electricity,
Yeah.
it jumps up, so you think, great.
Yeah. You gotta
I have
actually
more
put
energy.
the
You
power
have to
lines.
actually hook it up.
Yeah.
That is a bad, graph choice.
Yeah.
It should mean available means how much you can bloody well use.
Well, that happened. That happened to me too. Yeah, my whole neighborhood was out electricity, and I'm flipping out. Like it says it's covered. Like when I put the electricity
Building
thing
more-
on,
More turbines.
I did. I put 3 more in the water. I'm like, it's not working.
By
And
the end, I had 15 turbines. I'm like, why isn't this working? I'm only using 20 megawatts, but I'm generating 500.
for those of you who don't know, City Skylines is the latest city sim from Colossal and published by Paradox to kind of save everyone from SimCity. And it's been a huge success for them. They've sold so many copies. It's been Steam top seller, top 5 for the last when did it come out? Like the last half a month. So good for them. Really small studio. So it's cool to see what a small studio could do that a big one couldn't.
10 or 15 people.
Yeah,
Make that.
it's amazing. I'm sure they'll
Unlike
increase in size.
SimCity,
Yeah.
which had hundreds of people, and it was broken as all hell.
Too many cooks.
Spoiled. No,
Too many
EAs.
cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks. But yeah, yeah. So if you like City Sims, if for some reason you don't know this one exists yet, you should totally go check it out because I'm sure you'll have a ton of fun. I am at a standstill in mine, so
I haven't gotten far enough into the game to be able to really say whether I like it or not because I'm stuck all the time at the 3,000, 4,000 pop.
I think I'm at 9,000 now, but I've hit a standstill where I've expanded outwards to the north and the east side. Like I unlocked those 2 tiles, and that in turn gives me another highway to be able to connect. So I connected the one into my city, but I don't have anything built on that side, so it's just one giant long road that spans that entire tile into my city. So and I'm really bad at traffic and planning bus routes. That is, for some reason, the bus routes, I feel like you actually have to know how to map out a bus route because it gets to the point where you can set it up to where you can have a bus stop here and then have another bus come through that same route and pick up people who are dropped off by this other bus. So it gets to the point where you can have multiple It's just mine sucks.
I mean, it works like an actual bus system.
Yeah, and I set it so where I have my public transportation budget normal, 100% or whatever it was, or whatever it's set to for default. And for some reason, it was sending out 90 buses at a time. So I had my bus depot, and it was sending out 45 buses at once. I'm like, well, this is doing the opposite of what I wanted, and what I wanted was to relieve.
Adage, you wait for a bus, and suddenly 45 come at once.
It's weird because you do it to reduce traffic, and I'm looking at my traffic graph, and where it's congested the most is the exit of my bus depot and the bus stops. And I'm like, what is going on? I only have one bus route. Why are there 79 driving on the same? So I put the budget down a lot, and so that employs less bus drivers. So I have less buses, but my traffic has been reduced. But fun game. I haven't never played a city builder before, so. It's kind of an interesting. I mean, everyone's playing this after playing SimCity and maybe SimCity 3000 or SimCity 4, or maybe 3000. Who knows? But and I've never played one to this degree, so it's been a fun adventure. I bought SimCity 4 too to go back to after I'm done playing Skylines. But yeah, fun game. Worth the, was it $30 only?
I think I paid 25.
I paid like 21, with like a sale or
25.
whatever.
GBP USD is $37 is what I paid for it.
Is that
So
like
you probably paid like 30.
is that like a reference or something, or was that just a really cool spontaneous accent?
That's what English people talk like.
That's what I normally talk like.
Is it really? Are you being serious?
No.
Oh.
Can you imagine if Canadian people spoke that way?
I've always put on this pompous arsehole accent. But actually, I just talk like
God damn it.
a country bumpkin.
But yeah, anyway, questions.
Sorry, shall I stop playing Xenoblade Chronicles now?
Oh yeah. Well, this question I feel like everyone can answer, because it's more on the concept of the mechanic more so than like, do you have any experience with this? And it was the first question Raphael asked about the pros and cons of randomly generated.
Wait.
Don't forget the question we had from Daniel Hong last time.
Wait, what?
We had a question from Daniel Hong last time.
Oh yeah, we did. I said I'll save it for next time.
What was it?
Sorry, Daniel. Describe a game that disappointed you greatly and a game that surprised you greatly because it went above your expectations.
Oh, okay.
Disappointed me. Halo, the Master Chief Collection disappointed me.
That's
It
a
was
bummer.
Broken. But I don't know whether I can't remember a game where I've been disappointed at the game itself rather than just because the developer was a bit crap at setting up servers.
The Assassin's Creed franchise is my biggest disappointment.
Have you played any of the games that have been like bad?
No, right, fuck that company. Seriously.
So you've only played the ones that would be considered pretty
Well, no, 'cause
okay, or
everyone hates Assassin's Creed 1. Everyone hates Assassin's Creed 3. I'm so done with Ubisoft right now.
what was that new thing that because I saw that Alan was asking you about whether Kenway was going to be in something, but you thought that Ezio would be. What is that? Is that like
is a
Assassin's
new
Creed Smash
trilogy.
Bros?
No, that is a new trilogy of Assassin's Creed games, which are side-scrolling platformers.
Well,
Wonderful.
okay.
You know, the things that
Wonderful.
people ask for. That wasn't one of them.
You mean
I mean, they
the
look really
market
cool.
that the indies just aren't taking up
Yeah,
right
I
now?
know. They look really cool, don't get me wrong. And there's supposed to be 3. There's one taking place in China, which is a setting that everyone has been asking for forever, so they put it in a side-scrolling platformer. They're doing one in Russia and one in India as well.
Do you think that they're doing the side-scrolling platforming thing so that they can prove that they can make a game that isn't broken as all hell?
Well, we'll see when it comes out, I guess.
If they
but
break a side-scroller, which is something the most
I
basic
have
indie could do,
no doubt that it will come out and it will be broken. It will run at like 4 frames a second.
and there'll be
She'll glitch
microtransactions
through the
for
fucking
each
wall.
frame that you want to actually render.
But yeah, speaking of
God
Ubisoft,
damn it.
you know how I've been talking on Permadeath for ages about the fact that I want more Connor content?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
Have you picked up on that now?
They released a book not that long ago that says Connor Kenway basically got married, had a kid, and then his wife left him and he died alone.
Oh,
That is our conclusion to his story. So just
Wow.
fuck Ubisoft, because so many people have been asking for just something about Connor, and then they give us that.
how in charge are Ubisoft for novelizations?
I
Because
don't
I've
know.
wondered the same thing with like the Halo franchise. Like, how much of a hand did Bungie have in those books? Because they're quite involved, and the lore is obviously important to the franchise.
Yeah, I'd assume that they'd have like a conversation like what happened in Haytham Kenway's life, so I can write his autobiography for him or whatever.
So you
Biography,
reckon like
autobiography.
they give like key points that have to be met, and then everything else is just accepted.
Maybe. Maybe. I assume that there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but yeah, the companion book to Assassin's Creed 3 wasn't about Connor, it was about his dad. Half of the game was about either Desmond or Connor's dad. and then everyone who got attached to Connor gets basically like, first of all, they said, we'll let Tumblr decide what Connor's fate will be.
Well,
The
that
fuck?
explains everything.
And then they were like, oh, you never know. And then they did the book thing. I'm really fucking angry at Ubisoft right now, and I refuse to buy their games at full price.
Yeah.
I will maybe buy them secondhand so they see none of the money. I am being that petty because they don't give a shit about the people who buy their games, clearly. So
I mean, their indie stuff, like Valiant Hearts, is amazing. I haven't finished it yet, so I haven't talked about it. But like the indie stuff that they publish seems to actually be stable and good, which is a great shame because people are obviously being turned off of Ubisoft.
they don't. Their first party games are just always broken. Like, no one can defend them. You can be like, yeah, okay, it's fun, but how often is it fun? Just sorry. Ubisoft are my biggest disappointment. There you go.
Describe a game.
Fuck you.
Ubisoft.
Boom.
I'm trying to think of one that surprised me because I know that I've had one. I just can't remember what it is.
Mine's probably Hyrule Warriors, you know. Because I didn't expect to have any
That's a
fun
good
with
one.
that game because everybody told me that I was going to hate it.
I guess even though I haven't played anywhere near as much Hyrule Warriors, it's probably that for me as well.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's the Wind Waker. Because I didn't expect to like that game as much as I did. Maybe it's the Wind Waker. Don't know. What about you, Bill?
That surprised me.
Or that you was your most disappointing.
Disappointed. As a whole, as a product, as a whole,
Koei Tecmo
probably.
America.
Yeah, there's shitty Twitter. Fucking, I'll call them out. I don't care. You guys suck. PR. And community management. You guys blow. Anyway, probably Destiny. Like, as a whole, like, from what, like, was kind of, and it wasn't even people's fault. Like, oh, people expected too much or people expected this or that. It's that, like, the amount of, like, stuff that Bungie said, like, before it came out, even when the beta, and they said, like, oh, that's only a small fragment of the game, was what people playing the beta, but in reality, the beta was just about most of what you'd be experiencing. And, like, seeing what that game was like before launch and, like, seeing all of the pre-release hype and all the, like, dev doc videos where, like, they were showing stuff that didn't make it into the game now, like, stuff that was, I guess, cut. And, like, you couldn't help but be like, holy shit, like, this is Bungie. Like, they it's the fucking Halo guys making a thing that is larger than any FPS ever made, like, on paper. And then it comes out, and I don't hate Destiny, I just don't think it's what maybe it was marketed as. And, like, a lot of people will defend Destiny by saying, like, you guys just expected too much. But in reality, no, we just bought into what they were selling us, unfortunately, and it was what they were trying to sell us on paper before it came out. And then it came out, and it wasn't that.
Here is, like, a follow-up question. I've seen somewhere in the last week or two a rumor bouncing around that the reason Destiny is so empty is because it was on last gen stuff, and thus Destiny 2 or whatever it'll be called, which will only be for next gen, current gen, whatever you want to call it, will be much bigger, because they had to try and squeeze more out of PS3 and Xbox and 360, which thus had to be done through cutting out a crap ton of stuff.
Could be.
Do you think? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that is likely?
Could be.
Or they're just saying that to cover their ass.
Probably to cover their ass. 'Cause Far Cry 4 is still a massive game, and that's cross-gen. I mean, and if that's the case, it'd be nice if they're honest about it. Like, the guys who did Shadow Mordor were honest about the Nemesis system being severely gutted on the previous gen consoles for that version. So I don't know what it is. I mean, people speculate it's Activision. People speculate it was changing of the guards in Bungie before the game came out. Like, there was a big leaked thing that apparently was discredited, but at the same time, no one truly knows about the lead writer or whatever leaving, and they scrapped a lot of his story, and they changed this and that, and there's supposed to be trading in the game and a player market and all this stuff that was supposed to be in the game at launch, or that was supposed to be in the game in general, and it just got scrapped for no reason. And it's like, well, I can kind of believe that. And even some of the stuff that was cut from the game, like missions that you can see in the dev doc videos, like they were showing off the companion app, and like you can see missions that like were in the game, like where you go with the Queen of the Reef and her brother, you do stuff with him at this place called the Archives, and like none of that shit's in the game, and none of it's even in any of the DLC. So like, where is it? And I don't know. I mean, like, I'm interested to see what they do for this next DLC, because it's the first DLC was total crap, and the fact that they even have the word expansion on it is hysterical to me, because like it's one raid.
Crap if you're on Xbox.
It's it is one, you get, the Xbox gets less stuff, even less stuff than what's already in it. It's disappointing because they call it an expansion set when really it's just, here's a raid and then a few maps. So it's a map pack basically, is what that adds some guns. But like, how much effort does it take to make a fucking gun? Oh, here's the same gun and here's some numbers on it that are different than the last gun. So I'm really disappointed to see that like that even sucks. So I'm interested to see this next one that they've, because the big speculation with the last DLC, the first DLC pack, was that it was on disc and this was already cut content. But now the second DLC pack they've been working on this whole time, that they've had so much time to take in the feedback from the first pack. Will it truly be different, and will it truly add a substantial amount after the shitty feedback or not shitty feedback, but the shitty reception Dark Below got? Because that review got panned by everybody. People even I've never seen anybody review a DLC before with a score, but they reviewed that one just so they can say how shitty it was. So I'm interested to see, because I want the game to be, I want it to be good, you know, like that's what bums me out, because I love sci-fi and I love like the idea of playing a game, like I don't want to say like Mass Effect, but like I love those kinds, and just give me more of that type of setting and let me explore these worlds. And the fact that it wasn't what everyone wanted was a bummer. Game that surprised me, I won't talk about this one long, but probably Persona 4, oddly enough.
I need to play more of that.
Probably because
I'm still stuck on the first day where I'm in control.
Like everybody. wait till you get into it deeper when some of the like time management stuff, like when you have to go in and save
That's
people.
what I'm terrified about.
Yeah, when you have to.
I know I have to save. I have to keep control of my time. And I'm like, I don't wanna mess anything up on first day.
As the days go on, and you look at the weather forecast and you see like once the rain stops. Once it rains for a consecutive amount of days, after that ends is when the fog sets in, and that's when they're going to die. So you have to save them before that. So it becomes like, if you're really sucking ass in that dungeon and you have to leave the dungeon and waste another day, it can get kind of stressful.
In England, we'll be dying like every week.
But yeah, I was surprised because like I've never really played a JRPG for a long period of time, like recently. And just the idea of like a social sim time management game that's very heavily inspired by visual novels, which are things I can't really get into that often. That's why Hatful Boyfriend was a big surprise for me. Probably because it's more bite-sized than like something like Clannad. I'm surprised. I like
pigeons, like
yeah. So I'm surprised like Persona 4 as much as I do. But yeah, that's my answer. Did you give a surprised that you liked it game, Kinross?
I can't think of it. I mean, I was surprised that I like Hyrule Warriors.
That's a good answer, probably for.
It's not like I
for a lot of
was
people.
blown away. By it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know.
I mean,
I've had 2 weeks to think about it.
I mean, it's a good answer anyway, though. Like, I mean, I think a lot of people were surprised by Hyrule Warriors, and like because there's a lot of shit talking about the Warriors games, and a lot of people shit talked it before it came out. I mean, a lot of people I see online play it, and they go, "Wow, this is actually really fun." I'm not interested in the Warriors games. It's like, well, yeah, no shit, they're good. They've always been good.
Judge a game by its branding title.
Yeah. But yeah. So thank you for the question, Daniel Hong. Sorry it took us so long to answer it.
Sorry it took us a month. And that I didn't even have a good answer. I'm sorry.
It's a good question though. It's good. It's one you have to think about, because I've played so many games in my life that like I can only right now think of the most recent ones.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's been
5 games that I've ever played.
I'm sure there's been
I
many.
Played them this week.
I'm sure there's been many throughout my childhood that I've bought with my money and been like, this sucks. I'm so sad.
Actually, I was kind of disappointed by Skyrim. I'm going to say that.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Because,
you know what? I was disappointed in you.
Yeah, the fact that I couldn't. It's too open. I've said it before. I probably said it last.
This
I just don't know what to do.
This is actually probably a really good segue into, even though your complaint on Skyrim isn't my same complaint with Skyrim, but it's actually a great segue into Raphael's question about the pros and cons of randomly generated dungeons, and I think it can go into randomly generated content in general, because Skyrim's boasted like unlimited quests, and it was due to the quests being randomly just constantly generated.
That, man.
And
Radiant quests are
yeah.
so bullshit.
Yeah,
It's just like
I thought that they were all like preset.
well,
no.
like the story quests are like the story quests, and like the initial line of quests for each faction are, but you can keep going back to the NPCs and getting a randomly generated quest over and over and over again, and it's just gonna be meaningless, kind of like there's no inspiration behind the quests. They suck.
Oh, okay, so is that why?
They just sit in my quest log and look crap, and I can't do them because every time I go and turn them in, they give me a fucking another one.
Because someone was talking about how they were given a quest to go see someone who happened to have died like 10 hours ago.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that was because the game wouldn't let
that's the product of that. Yeah.
Proper storyline die off.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's Morrowind. Morrowind didn't give a fuck about you or anything that you. Morrowind warned you at least. When you killed a story NPC in Morrowind, it would say like the balance of the world has changed. You must go back and change it. And it's encouraging you to reload your game because you just fucked up. But it also gives you the option to just not and just fuck up your game. I've done it when I first played Morrowind. I wasn't doing a story at all. I was just killing everybody, and I was like, fuck yeah, the balance of the world has changed. Save. But in Skyrim,
that wizard who like tries to make himself fly.
Yeah, and he like falls out of like falls to his death.
That's the only thing I know about Morrowind.
I love Morrowind.
It's the best thing.
But in Skyrim, if you go to kill a story NPC, they just kind of pass out and then stand back up. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? But yeah, so Skyrim had a lot of randomly generated quests, and it was like kind of like their replacement for the amazingly awesome quest lines for each faction in Oblivion, which I think is the one thing in Oblivion that stands tall over Skyrim is its quests and its quest writing and its just general faction design in general. The Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild were 10 million times better in Oblivion than they were in Skyrim. But that's because
wonder, like the quests. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say like they may count as random quests, but I guess that they were all voice acted, right? Like when you met an NPC, they'd say the lines.
Not really.
No?
Those ones, at least for the Thieves Guild, like they're like a quest where they tell you to go steal a necklace, and she'll just. I'm pretty sure they'll just go like, "Oh, I need you to do this job for me," and then they'll give you the quest in your log, and it'll say, "Go to." I forget the cities in what the fuck are the cities in Skyrim? Go to White. Shit, or whatever the fuck that place is called. What's that place called? White something.
White Run.
White Run. Go to White Run, and they'll give you like an NPC's house and an item to steal from his house, and then like you just go steal it and give it right back, and there's no like interaction with any other NPCs. It's just kind of like here's a thing. The game's gonna pick an NPC and an item for you to steal from their house, bring it back, and. Yeah,
Man, I'm so glad I didn't get into Skyrim.
That's my only complaint with that game, but it's a big one.
Like after you've done all of the quests that you start looking at that sort of stuff. Like after you've done every possible quest that you can find and you have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like this is hundreds of hours into the game that you start getting radiant quests. No. I like that one video though. That's the title of the video is Skyrim has infinite quests, and then it's got Todd Howard's face on the video with the lies song. Tell me lies, tell me sweet lies.
But like, and then that brings the question of Raphael is like the pros and cons of randomly generated stuff, and he brings up the dungeons thing because Bloodborne has the Chalice dungeons, which are a randomly generated feature that you can keep restarting, and it has a new layout and loot and all that stuff. And it has its I like randomly generated content like as an idea, like as not as its main selling point if it's not gonna do it well. Like in Skyrim, I don't think it does it well. Like I think they're really soulless, and I don't think they have like when you do a quest that's handcrafted and handwritten, and they place things there for you, and they write the quest and they lay it out, or even a dungeon where you do a dungeon that is handcrafted and the experience is like it's made by a man and not a code. That's just like an algorithm. Then you get a much more meaningful experience because everything is placed there with care, and like things are written to happen, and things like puzzles are clever, and it's not just like, well, here's a randomly generated hallway with enemies who who are in there who probably shouldn't even be in there, but the code put them in there anyway. And but at the same time, like, you know, then there's the bullet point of, you know, it gives you a lot of stuff to do. Like, if you're running out of content, then you know, there's always something for you to do in that sense. Yeah. Like, once you beat all the stuff in the game, you can still go back and do its quests in Skyrim, and you're still technically doing stuff. Like, you're still handing in quests. I mean, it's not meaningful in any way, but, you know, it's still content. But then there's, of course, stuff like Binding of Isaac, where everything's randomly generated, and they do it in a meaningful way, and the game is based around that, and they put care into the random generation. So the cons are that it sucks, because, like, when it sucks, it really sucks, and some games use it as their main backbone, and they don't do it well enough, and they just think that you can just put a randomly generated idea into your game, and, oh, it's going to be the next best seller on Steam. But in reality, if you don't do it well, it's going to suck. And I think in Bloodborne, it's okay, because it's only if, you know, it's not the main draw to Bloodborne. Bloodborne still has a 60-hour game on top of those Chalice dungeons. But what do you guys think? Have you guys played anything with, like, random generation, like Binding of Isaac or Minecraft?
I guess. But
Rogue Legacy?
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, that's
I didn't play very much of it because I didn't understand how the game worked.
I think Rogue Legacy does it well. Same with Spelunky. Like, I think the games, like I said, that are built on it, like, them, like, they actually, like, give a shit about it. Like the Skyrim feature, I feel like, was just thrown in there to, like, it's a technically impressive thing that you can just keep getting quests and they don't stop. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think there's much
they must stop
care
once you've stolen literally everything in the world.
I wonder. I wonder what would happen. But yeah, it's an interesting thing.
I don't have much experience of randomly created stuff, so I can't really say whether things are good or bad.
That Minecraft.
Except for Minecraft, but I don't know whether that really counts.
Why would that not count?
I don't think so. Like, because even though each world is randomly generated, for me they all feel pretty similar. Like,
it still counts as a game that randomly generates.
I know it does, but, like, in my brain, I don't think that is the main thing, I guess. I mean, every now and again you'll see something cool, but otherwise it's just trees and fields and deserts, and they all look pretty much the same. And
but it still definitely counts.
I think maybe not on a content level, like something like Binding of Isaac or like the Chalice dungeons, but I think it's probably, like, for me, the most impressive form of procedural generation because of how big the world can get. Like, is there a limit on the PC version to how big you can get your world, like, to generate as you walk further? Like, to me, that's insane.
I mean, technically, yes. Doesn't it fall apart at a certain point?
Like, to me, that's just, like, it's insane to me, because, like, you can build a house on this end and then just walk, and the game doesn't stop.
About walking in one direction. Speaking of One Direction, sorry, Zane.
Zane, buddy. Look, I know you
existed.
I know
placement in a school, and all the girls were asking me who my favorite One Direction guy was. I said, "How about that one with the hair?" And they were like, "Oh my god, yes!"
It's Harry. I think Harry's the one we're talking about.
Oh my god, Bill, you know music.
Oh, I unfortunately know too much about One Direction, thanks to the people in my life.
Do you have a sister?
Yeah. And a friend. Yeah, it's a mess.
I like how you just went.
A sister and thin walls.
But yeah, Harry is not Harry. Zane. Yeah, I'm really sad, Zane. I mean, he wants a normal life. He should just come on the podcast.
Is he Zane Malik?
Yeah.
He's got weird
hair. Do you like games?
Games.
Zane, I know. He quit right as Bloodborne was coming out. I know that is
why.
That's not a coincidence.
He had to play Bloodborne.
Not a fucking coincidence at all. And he thinks, like, I don't see, like, he thinks specifically we don't see. But Zane, like, I understand what's going on, man. That's okay.
Sometimes you just gotta go play games.
Yeah, I would quit my super successful band to play Bloodborne.
Who needs girls? You got Bloodborne.
Yeah.
All the girls are tweens. That's illegal, except for in some places.
Permadeath podcast, the Age of Consent show.
I'll wait until we get to the 18th episode.
Oh god, yeah, we're almost there. Another question.
It's over. We can't talk about this anymore.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, and you started the bloody show with it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and then I regretted it as soon as I said it.
The next question from Raphael asks, what makes a good co-op experience and or good multiplayer experience in general for you?
Is it Mario Kart?
If there's no lag, that is a good plus.
Fantastic.
Particularly if it's a fighting game, or any game where movement is important. That is good.
I wonder if he means just like the gameplay in general. Like what kind of game makes the best co-op multiplayer experience for you?
I'd be really super generic if I answered something like this anyway, because my shift in co-op games has definitely changed over the past 5 years, because I used to live with friends and now I don't really, and all my friends exist on the internet, so I'm definitely always looking
for online co-op.
For good online play,
Yeah.
basically. And it has to be fun, like where I can shout at my friends over Skype for an hour while we play Mario Kart, or say that I don't have any friends because they beat me at Smash Bros. Whatever.
I think my best co-op experience has either been in general Nintendo things forever, but if you're not including Nintendo, because they're awesome, except for the YouTube thing, get over it. Is probably Portal 2. Portal 2 is probably the best co-op.
That's a very good co-op game.
Or The Last of Us multiplayer. That is amazing. But similarly, I don't have to play it co-op. I can play it on my own and have just as much fun.
Yeah, that game is designed well in both ways.
Portal, you can't play that on your own.
No,
nope. It's insane. I tried. It doesn't work.
Absolutely.
But Splatoon is going to be
Splatoon will be
co-op game.
If Splatoon, we're talking about Daniel Hong's question, if we answer that in like 3 months' time or whenever it is, I really hope that Splatoon is not my most disappointing game.
Oh, if that game ends up being disappointing, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I will be heartbroken. My heart will crack into pieces of stone.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to play it,
yeah?
Oh, yeah, we're all going to play Splatoon, by the way. All three of us. It's going to be great.
Cool. Yeah. Not at the same time.
I'm excited.
We can all come onto the podcast after we play it. We can all sing that Inkling song.
That song sold me. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to pick up Splatoon, but maybe not launch, wait for things to settle down. Oh my god, it's got a song sung by a squid.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was just the music of that game that made me go, you know what? Yes.
My best co-op probably I've re-emerged back into the world of local multiplayer over the last few weeks. I don't know why. I have all these friends who like all play games, and like I don't know why no one ever like spoke up and went, "Hey, let's get together and play these games that we can only play locally." So I've been playing Towerfall and Sports Friends, which are Jesus Christ. All I heard about was how fun Towerfall was, but I can never play it because first of all, it was a Steam-only game before it came out on PS4 or whenever else it came out on, and it was local multiplayer only. So it's like, well, I can't play that. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Like, what? Yeah. Well, what am I gonna do with that? But because like even like playing multiplayer on the PC, like I mean, not everyone has controllers but whatever. So it came out on PS4, and man, that game is. Have either of you guys ever played it at all in any form, like any cons or anything, or?
Sorry, what's that again?
Towerfall.
I don't have friends, Bill. Although I will say, like, we did say that Mario Kart Online is a great experience.
Yes.
I think I've played Mario Kart with people twice, and that is like 100 times better. Even it doesn't make any sense because you'd be having a conversation over Skype anyway, so it's kind of like you're in the same room. But the fact that you're actually in the same room makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I think playing local multiplayer on a lot of things is always, in a way, I mean, like, it's always going to be better in the sense that there's a lot of camaraderie around it, and, like, it's, I don't know, it's there's something different about it. And I don't get to do it often, which is what bums me out. Like, I mean, like, now I can, like, I play Towerfall and Sports Friends with my friends, but, like, it's like, we can't do that every day. It's to the point where, like, I can play, like, Destiny online every day if I wanted to, but, like, I'm not getting...
But you don't.
But I don't. I don't play it at all. I should. I actually reinstalled it yesterday. But
Good.
But yeah, I think local multiplayer is what makes it. I mean, as far as online co-op goes, like you said, Portal 2 had a really good one. Just the cooperation involved in solving those puzzles was great. I actually
it was actually co-op.
I played that. I played that locally, actually.
Ow. Sorry, I just punched my desk.
We played it locally with two like Xboxes side by side. That was pretty fun.
So yeah, that's what makes good ones for us.
Stable online and good game.
Let's see. I think that's all the questions he asked me.
Questions that we've been asked.
He asked me a mechanic about Bloodborne. But I don't. He asked me if it would be a spoiler, so I asked him to DM it to me, and then it was just a question about the insight mechanic, which is like a stat that goes up as you fight a boss and see crazy shit. Your insight number goes up. So the more that you see crazy shit, the harder the game's gonna get. So it's like a weird natural difficulty setting to where you can spend that insight on stuff and lower your insight by using it to buy stuff. But the higher it gets, the harder the game gets. And like I guess it's in a sense that like your eyes are being opened to this world and you're beginning to realize how fucked up it is, and you start noticing like the higher it gets, if you go back to an older area, those enemies start doing different things, and they have different forms and mutations and different movesets that they didn't have in the beginning of the game. And then you can go and spend that insight and dump it and go back down to like 0, and the things are back to normal. So it's a weird, interesting, organic mechanic that I haven't fooled around with too much yet. My insight's at like 25, but I've seen people with screenshots where it's like close to 90, and I can't even imagine what your game's like. But I like the mechanic. That's all I'll say for his question. It's interesting. I think it's neat. So there's not a difficulty setting per se, but like, and they don't explain to you in the game what insight does. So like, you're getting it higher, and it's like this naturally getting harder, and you may not notice what the fuck's going on. But
now I'm worried because in Xenoblade, every time you level up, you get an affinity coin. No idea what it does. Now I'm worried that the game is just going to start going like eternal darkness on me.
The enemies are going to get tentacle heads and all this shit. But yeah, so that's all the questions everyone asked us. Thank you, Raphael. You asked a lot of questions, and he asked the one, and I'm like, cool. And then like another one came in, I'm like, oh, cool. Another one came in, like, holy shit, this guy's on a roll. So thank you, new Daniel Hong.
You can't say that.
Secondary Daniel Hong, Vice Daniel Hong, Vice Hong.
Oh, Daniel Hong, I want to say something. I was in New York City, and I thought this might be like bad. I think he could take a joke. Daniel Hong, you can take a joke.
Was this in the last episode? No. This is
one
of the reasons that I wanted the episode not to come out, okay?
I don't think I said this in the last one.
If you're still listening, I would like to say that episode 16 not being out is like 90% my fault and 10% Bill talking about
Daniel Hong, I think I saw you in New York City.
Daniel Hong.
I think I saw you in New York City when I was there.
Okay.
That's
as
it.
far as we will go. Okay?
That's it.
Because
if
last time it went to a bad place.
I think it wasn't about it wasn't it wasn't about the Daniel Hong thing, I don't think.
I mean,
no, that was about pregnancy.
That was your fault. This has nothing to do with my New York trip, Kinross.
Because that's why I'm saying 10% of it was you, because that story took a weird turn.
What
the internet wouldn't necessarily want that opinion of you.
Which one? Me?
Yeah.
What story was that?
I mean, I can't say.
Daniel Hong one.
Yeah, the Daniel Hong one.
Well, he's gonna be super curious now. Daniel Hong, DM me.
Ask you.
DM me, my man.
We are not
I totally saw you in New York City. Anyway.
This is super long, so I'm gonna save my MMO question for next time.
Oh, I want it. I want to talk about Elder Scrolls. See, I think we've got
the Hatful Boyfriend section.
I think we're okay.
Like a 3-hour podcast.
I think
are you going to put like a little warning in front saying, sorry, this is like a month's worth of content in one?
People like long ones. Really? That's what she said. People like long ones because they said
too long is just ineffective.
Because I remember like I was always like against long podcasts, but everyone says we like them when they're super long. I'm like, oh, I don't, but like I guess people do. But we have like 20 minutes of unrecorded stuff, like when we're in the Skype call, just bullshitting around. So we're like around the average length. I won't talk too long about the MMO question, but I know Steenis really wanted to hear about ESO, so I have to get it in there.
My question is, I kind of want to play an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
And there are several choices.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that I'm like half throwing around are Final Fantasy 14, ESO,
Mhm.
Destiny, and Guild Wars 2. Now the thing is, I'm not well versed in the lore of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls, or Guild Wars, so I'm pretty much just looking for something that plays well, that is an enjoyable experience regardless of whether you know what's going on.
Okay. Do you want me to go now? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, that's
okay.
If I think of something else, then I'll bring it up.
It's an interesting time for MMOs because I think there's a lot more big hitters that are successful at the same time than there ever have been. People say, "Oh, MMOs are dying because all the ones that have subscriptions get put free," but then they become really successful in their free to play state. Like Star Wars: The Old Republic has been more successful than it's ever been once it went free to play. So there's a lot of games to choose from, like as far as MMOs go, and like Final Fantasy 14 is a great one. It's probably the one most worth your subscription now. But at the same time, Final Fantasy 14 is an interesting one because I feel like it's the most grindy out of all of the current ones. And I think it would require the most time commitment. And people will argue maybe that it doesn't. But let me give you a scenario in Final Fantasy 14 that maybe will turn you off. And maybe someone will get mad at me. Oh, you're just wrong. Oh, no. So you play all the different character classes on one guy. So you have one guy, and then you can switch between every class.
So it's like Fantasy Life.
Yeah. You have one guy, and you keep track of all of them on him. So instead of making separate alts, you do it this way. So that's awesome. That makes so you have one guy, and like what sucks about it is like you do all these quests on the first class, and then they're not there for you for the next one. So then what sucks is that people start getting technical with you with your skills, and because you can have all these classes on one character, you can eventually obtain cross-class skills. So you can take a skill from one class and use it on another. So people start getting technical on you, and like we won't let you in these dungeons or the level 50 endgame content. Even though you're a level 50 white mage and you meet the level requirements, we want you to have swift cast and whatever else. From the Thaumaturge class, which in order to get that skill, you have to level the Thaumaturge up to level 26, which is 26 more levels, and it takes fucking a long time because story quests are gone, and you have to do leave quests and dungeons, which are repeatable quests, much in the vein of the Radiant quests, and dungeons, and depending on what class you're playing it as, takes a very long time to get into because everybody in the game plays damage dealers, so everyone's trying to get into the dungeons at once as a damage dealer, so you have like a 45-minute queue. So that aspect of the game is awful.
This is another important thing.
Awful.
It has to work well solo because no one ever plays things with me.
Final Fantasy. The good thing about like WoW and Final Fantasy and what they've done with their dungeons and the content that typically requires people is that they have like it's a matchmaking system for every dungeon in the game. And in Final Fantasy's case, they just made it so that the final section of their highest level dungeon is now available in the matchmaking system. So you can queue up solo for everything. You end up playing with other people, but everything is done via matchmaking. So you can play the whole game by yourself in that sense, to where you don't need people you know to play with you. But I mean, that's what makes it MMO and MMO, and what makes an MMO fun, because it's really a pain in the ass to get into communities now because everyone's so cliquey in these fucking games now, and I've found that to be 100% the truth. Like joining a guild, like if you're joining a guild that's established, they're not gonna talk to you. I mean, it's just like you'll try to butt in their conversations, but they have their groups of people, and it just becomes really hard to make friends. So then there's Elder Scrolls, which I really like the current status in. I'm not being like dishonest or whatever, or just trying to try to go against my previous opinion. I never thought the game was total shit in its current last state, but it wasn't worth my subscription. It wasn't worth paying money for it every month.
Bear in mind, my last experience of Elder Scrolls Online, I fell into a hole that was impossible to get out of. Have they fixed
just about every giant bug has been squashed? Okay. Quest bugs, quests being bugged, this being happening, server issues. All of that seems very stable now, and they've improved the entire tutorial process. They've streamlined that. It's still the same general idea, but they've changed that whole process. They let you skip it if you want. They've added in like tens of dozens or however many new combat animations. So my biggest complaints with it was that the combat felt very light, like stale. I just didn't feel good. That's been addressed. I think that, and they've added tons of new facial animations on the NPCs, and they've just kind of went over it and went, well, here's everything you hated about it. Let's just fix it. And in that process, they haven't added much that is new, but they've just kind of fixed everything. Maybe that should have been in at launch. But in return, we now have a game that doesn't have a sub fee. So it's, to me, like everyone's won at this point. Like maybe the amount of people who've paid every month since it came out. But that's a lot of money they wasted. Now they don't have to pay that. But the other thing they added in there is the justice system, which I think that's not in any other MMO, and I think it's totally fucking unique in the space of an MMO. And for those of you who don't know what that is, they've added the ability to kill and steal and do all that stuff like you could do in Elder Scrolls games to any NPC. And it's fun because doing that in a setting where you're standing in town, like waiting for a friend to show up, and you see another player running for his life from the guards, I think is just, you don't get, that's not in any other MMO. You can't just, I was in an inn, like I logged in and I equipped the new staff and I wanted to see what it did. And, in other MMOs, you practice your attacks or you shit on dummies in town and nobody gets hit. I accidentally held left click and I blew up a lady sitting at the bar. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And, like, it's just funny because I'm playing with my cousin and we're, like, running from the guards because, like, her, like, husband or whatever started attacking me. And he's like, well, do you want me to help you? I'm like, yeah, kill this fucking guy. He's punching me in the face. So we murder him, and then you have to make it to a hideout to erase your debt, or not your debt, your bounty, or you can pay it off to the guards, or you can refuse, and you can fence all your stolen items. They've added that kind of freedom to an MMO, which is cool. That's very fun. Now, with Elder Scrolls Online, I might wait for the PS4 version, if you're interested in playing Elder Scrolls Online, just because it'll be a fresh start for everybody. God, I'm supposed to be trying to convince you to play one of these, aren't I? Mm-hmm. It's really tough.
Not necessarily convince me, but like give a brief overview and say,
okay,
I think that you should probably.
I did trash the Final Fantasy leveling system in that regard, but I think as far as like having the most quality content at max level, I think paying your sub fee for Final Fantasy is worth it, because the difference between, like, say, Guild Wars 2's like post-release patches and Final Fantasy's post-release patches is that Final Fantasy has a constant revenue stream. And while Guild Wars has the cash shop and they make a lot of money off that because there's no subscription fee, Final Fantasy has constant monetary support. So they release a new patch that is huge and has tons of stuff every 2 months, and then a little one in between that. So there's the amount of stuff they've added in Final Fantasy just over the last 4 months alone since the year started has been huge. They've added in like an entire new raid, an entire new section of another raid, the Golden Saucer, which is an entire minigame area, which adds triple triad and chocobo racing and all this other stuff. That came in a small incremental patch. Like no game does that. Like their dev team, the Japanese culture around making games shows in an MMO, which I've never seen before. I never played a Japanese MMO, and I don't know if they can keep this up over the next year with the new expansion pack coming out, but without burning out and dying, because they make so much content. But if you're going to pay a subscription, definitely Final Fantasy, for sure. As far as the ones that don't have sub fees, like Elder Scrolls Online and Guild Wars 2, it's hard for me to pick which one I like better because I haven't hit max level in Elder Scrolls yet. Guild Wars 2 is really great, and the expansion pack for that is coming out presumably the summer, probably. I would assume.
Coming out May.
That would even be a bigger surprise. I would love that. I hope it's.
I thought I heard someone. I mean,
that'd be awesome.
That it's coming out in May, or that there is a.
They've
a press.
They've been working on it, I assume, for a while, because they have two separate dev teams, and this one's been working on this one for forever. So it'd be a really awesome surprise if it was coming out next month, because that would make me very happy. That expansion pack looks great, and the game itself is great. I think it's very similar in Elder Scrolls in the way that they want you to kind of take on their quests and your leveling process. Like in Elder Scrolls, one thing they've always done really well, despite the shit the game got, was the questing, and I think every quest is acted, and every quest has a story. It's not just go kill 5 boars and hand it back into me for some linen. These NPCs are all talking to you. They all have a storyline. All these quests you're doing aren't to kill 5 things. You're going and doing a thing. You're going into a dungeon, or you're going into an Ayleid rune or something, and you're doing these things, and the NPCs are coming with you, and they're talking to you, and it's like playing an Elder Scrolls game. The only thing that maybe breaks immersion a little bit for some people is the fact that there's other players running around. But in that sense, I've never been immersed in an MMO, and I never understood that complaint with MMOs at all. Oh, my immersion's broken. Well, it's an MMO where the guy standing next to you's name is Dick Sucker. So, I mean, there's no way to be immersed in an MMO. It's just impossible. Oh wow, this really great moment where I'm fighting this giant beast. I'm so immersed. Oh wait, who's that guy? Naruto Uzumaki? Oh nice, he spelled his name that way. What an idiot. Like, I don't understand the immersion factor. So in that sense,
the biggest immersion breaker is the fact that, like, you know that everyone who's playing Skyrim is the Dragonborn. But it doesn't matter because you're the only Dragonborn who experiences.
Yeah.
Whereas in an MMO, there are hundreds of thousands of saviors.
Yeah, and I think that's like when people complain about the immersion in MMO, like it's a given that like everyone in this game's storyline is the hero. Like in every MMO, it's always been that way. In World of Warcraft, it's always been that way. In Final Fantasy, it's that way because there are cutscenes in Final Fantasy, and you're the one guy who's kicking the ass of every bad motherfucker. And in Elder Scrolls, it's kind of the same. So in that sense, like, I mean, people with Elder Scrolls Online expected like Skyrim Online, and like that's not an unrealistic expectation. But instead, it's an MMO set in Tamriel with some Skyrim systems in place. I think it's worth playing in its current state. I really do. Guild Wars 2. This is such a tough call for you. Which one to pick? You already have Guild Wars 2, don't you?
Yes.
Maybe that one. Maybe jump into that one for a little bit.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't see. It's a good time to get into Final Fantasy 14 because the expansion pack's coming out in June, I think, and like everything gets reset with an expansion release. Everybody is starting off from the same spot, and if you played Final Fantasy now, you'd probably be able to hit 50 in time. But at the same time, that game's a huge time sink. I resubbed.
I'm away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get into that one as like. And it sucks too because it's easily the best pay to play MMO, but at the same time, like the time commitment and people can say it doesn't have one. I resubscribed. It takes a while to do stuff. Maybe not to hit 50 your initial time, but you have to level up certain other classes to get skills, and it's really, and all this time you're subscribed. So like I think if you wanted to test out MMOs, like see if you really like the genre enough to maybe get Final Fantasy, do Guild Wars. And then maybe check out Elder Scrolls. See, that's the good thing about no sub fee is I can go back to Guild Wars whenever I want.
Yeah.
And like I'm never guilty because like when I resubscribe to Final Fantasy, it's like I feel like if I'm not playing Final Fantasy, I'm wasting the money I just spent on the month. And then like, oh, the month is almost over and my subscription's about to end because I don't do automatic renewal because I may not be wanting to play it and I may forget and it charges me. But so I feel like, you know, that idea of wasting your time and money, but then with like Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars, it's always there and it doesn't matter that you're not playing it, you know, to play another game that you may spend money on. And I'm going to let my Final Fantasy subscription run out and I'm not going to resubscribe maybe until the expansion pack comes out, which is in June. And then I'm going to play Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars in that time frame.
You know who you should play Guild Wars with?
Do it. Make a guy. I'll make a new guy with you. Because I've been wanting to level up,
just like Destiny.
A necromancer.
You know we're gonna play Destiny.
I'm more likely to play Guild Wars than Destiny.
I have it on record. Bill is more likely than Zero to play Guild Wars with me.
MMOs, man. MMOs. But do you know?
Can we play the 200cc Mario Kart?
No.
Yes, we will play the 200cc.
Yes, of course.
Maybe even the day it comes out, depending on
dude, do you know what we should do? Well, depending on when it comes out. Now, people listening to this is not a confirmation.
It comes out on a Thursday, the 23rd.
Fuck.
Why is that a problem?
Well, with the idea, I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say? Or should we save it?
No, because this ain't gonna.
Secret.
It ain't gonna happen anyway.
We could set up a permadeath tournament.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
That is a good idea.
I was gonna say like a 24-hour live stream, but
That's a terrible idea. Let's do it.
Do you know how hard it is to stream a Wii U? Jesus Christ. Well, it's probably not difficult for people who are good at it, but for me, it's hard. Like to sync up Skype, the game, and me.
It's fine.
Oh.
It's fine. Let's do it.
I mean,
24-hour
I will
permanent live stream. We can look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah, we can even stream it for a few hours. We don't gotta stream it for 24.
We should set up a permadeath tournament.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can all just jump in it, and then like when people want to play it.
Right now, no, I'm not. I could do though.
That sounds like a great idea. But yeah, MMOs.
Episode 17.
Pick one that doesn't have a sub fee. That's my answer to you right now.
Okay, so I'll stick with Guild Wars since I already own
Yeah,
it.
and then
dumping 50 quid on. Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, and I would say maybe if you're interested in Elder Scrolls, check it out because I'm gonna jump to the PS4 version when that comes out. Because a lot of my family members don't have PCs. The game is a beautiful looking game, by the way, and like it's worth playing it on its highest settings. It's optimized really well, actually. I think they improved it with the re-release of Tamriel Unlimited. It runs beautifully now. It never used to. So I think he did some work on that. But because everyone's going to be starting fresh on the PS4, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Everyone's new instead of a bunch of people who aren't so new.
Okay.
But yeah, there.
Thank you very much.
I think this was a long episode.
Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe I should have left it.
I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Well, you're not going to see us for a while, so
yeah.
enjoy it.
People will like it. I have confidence people will like it. If you listened to this long, thank you very much for supporting the Permadeath podcast. We've been all along, but we had to
cover the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff to talk about, and then Nintendo Direct a lot of stuff, and it
has actually been busy.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff happening.
I can't imagine.
Wait until E3.
E3 is going to be nasty.
E3 this time.
That's going to be nasty.
Into the logistics of an E3 thing.
So. Live stream.
What,
definitely.
E3? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm working on it. All right.
But all right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks.
Tweet me about Bloodborne. And I'll talk to you about Bloodborne even more if you want to tweet me at Frozen Hugert.
You should make a.
Is that a good ending? Welcome.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Good.
start again.
Goodbye, everybody.
Man, the entire thing scrapped. Start again. I think we made that joke. I think we actually made that joke last time. At the end of the episode.
I think we did.
That was that good. Let's just start again. And we did.
I'm gonna hit end.
Holy hell.
I'm gonna hit
Holy
end.
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 hell.
I'm gonna hit
Holy
end.